Ah, hello. Max, add the hopeful band to the starting screen. Oh, I can. I think I already have that. One second. I'm pretty sure I already have this. I do. I do. I do. I do. I do. I do. I don't know where to put it. Where do you guys want to put this thing? Right next to hopeful? Oh, yeah, wait. Yeah, that works. That makes sense. Wait, but then you can't see Khadgar's Men's Warehouse feet. That's kind of a pretty niche meme, though. There weren't a lot of people here for that. They paid me like $1,000 to do that too, by the way. Little 10-minute Twitch bounty, Men's Warehouse, fucking put some pictures of yourself in their like suit feature, and I put Khadgar in it instead. That's a W right there. Do we really need two of Tettles? Yeah, man. Sometimes his face and or his hair just does some insane shit. My favorite part is the youtube.com is now in full screen at the top because people think their shit's on YouTube. Y'all see me today? I'm on that cumber. All right, it's time. Dude, someone just got banned right now. What did they do? Oh, oh. In March of this year, they said something racist, and then they got banned. And then they just said now, not sure how I got unbanned, but I stand by my racism and hate speech. Oh my god. Jesus, bro. Is that cringe or based? It would be based if the thing he was defending wasn't racism. So unfortunately, it's cringe. So we have to go live, I suppose. I'm here. Dude, does someone have a nice little animated midnight wallpaper now? I guess we would need to see the zones. Max, check Discord. Oh, I already did. Wait, the guy you just banned? Let's see. Oh, I mean, it seems like he's terrible. So if any mods are here, he's second on the list right now. Oh no, so yeah, before I ever do unban requests, if any of the mods want to go through, don't unban anything that could make good content, basically, or like deny. Sorry, don't deny or approve anything that would make good content. But specifically, if any, okay, so unban requests are typically one of a few things, but I'll go over the two that matter. Number one, it's usually people who just who got banned for getting a little too hyped. They're sorry about it. They said something weird about one of the raiders, and live and learn, right? We usually unban those people. Now, number two, the second, not most likely person, but the second thing to look for is this. Sometimes people use the unban request as like it's just another opportunity to call you a slur. And those, I'm not going to give them their time of day by reading that shit on stream. So if you're a mod and have access to unban requests for any reason, if you have people that are just using it as an like basically just screen them for me. Just go through, don't approve or deny them, but specifically remove the ones that if it showed up on stream would be like either not Twitch TOS safe or which unfortunately I think is Birdcock's, right? Or people who are extremely degenerate, basically. But leave all the other ones. Wait, I got hyped and ripped the head, nothing bad, and got sniped timed out. Bro, posting the head... Wait, you mean just the bird head or the head of his bird cock? Because there's two different things. Posting just the bird head is chill, but some people try to sneak the other head in there. Some people were just posting bird heads and were getting shot. Oh, I like the little bird head. Just like the regular one, like the one where he's just a little bird saying hi. That's nice. I like those. One second. I'm gonna post a picture in my Discord here and then show it to you guys, or a video. I came into the TL facility today. Everyone else is gone. I'm actually moving my stuff out of here today, and there's something still here from the after party that I find so funny, and I don't know how it got there, but it's there. So here we go. All right, so I'm just minding my own business in the facility. Okay, I'm just minding my own business, right? Team Liquid facility mostly back to normal. All the production stuff's gone. All the office spaces are back. All right, and then I'm heading to the kitchen, and what do I see? Who made this? Like, why is there a Tobo from WoW thing with... You know what I'm saying? Like, who made this? That's all I'm saying. He wasn't even here. That man won 4 Race World first in a row. Tobo's the GOAT. Wait, did he? Oh, yeah, he did. Dude, we've won 4 of the last 5. And the one we lost was questionable. That's a pretty good run. That's an all-time run. And it isn't over yet. Yeah, I hope so. Dude, I actually, upon looking back on this race, I'm very, very, very happy. Well, I was going to say I'm very happy that we won. But, like, so much stuff went wrong this race, and things that were like we did not play very well. Everything from pretty much everything except for the players actually playing the game. Just, like, everything supporting them was just bad. And usually you need to lose a race to, like, really lock in and fix that kind of stuff. Like, what I mean by that is, like, when things go okay, but you win, it's kind of okay to just let those things still stay that way. Because it's like, I don't know, we still won, right? Like, it's hard to really acknowledge problems unless they're, like, problems. Do you know what I mean? But in this raid, there were so many things that were so obviously bad and easy to improve because we've acknowledged. It's easy to acknowledge that they were bad. Now, it's just usually when you lose, that stuff is way more apparent. But we ended up winning and still having that. Like, basically, the fact that we had, I think, relatively a pretty bad tier and ended up still winning is nice that you didn't have to lose to actually make, like, massive improvements, which are, like, currently underway right now. I convinced my friend to watch the last day of the race with me, and he got hooked. Yeah, I mean, I think that's, like, pound for pound the best thing the race has to offer. You know, what's really interesting about the race is how good viewership it gets throughout the entire race, when in reality, dude, one of the production people said this to me. Whenever they bring on new people to production, dude, the production people that work with us care about this so much. This is they do Evo, they do, like, Apex Worlds, they do massive gaming tournaments, and they do, like, basically every major gaming tournament in the United States. And they're like, this is our favorite event. This is the one that we want to do more than anything else. And they truly mean it. They actually, like, ride or die with us winning or losing. They care so much. And they were trying to, like, convince people that are new in production. They're like, dude, I just love seeing that moment where they finally get how special this is. And a lot of people don't get it. And like they had this new guy who like didn't get it. And then they on the last day they were watching him like being locked the fuck in, and they're like, "Do you get it now?" He's like, "Dude, I don't get it. The only thing that matters in 2 weeks is the last 5 minutes. The last like it's like winning and that's it. Like you watch for 2 weeks and literally nothing matters until someone wins." And it's like, yeah. But if you think about it like that, people watch the whole time. Like they watch the whole time, even though basically none of it matters until the end. That's when you know you have good content, dude. It's because you don't know when that last 5 minutes will happen. Yep. Well, I mean, you kind of do. Like you know when we're on the fourth boss that you know that isn't gonna happen, but you watch anyway. You know what I'm saying? I said I'm glad you clutched, but I agree that one felt insanely scary. I mean, yeah, it objectively was scary. Like basically, it is not lost on me that an extremely razor thin margin of like Echo getting one more proc or like one person not making one mistake in a 10-hour day at that point, 12-hour day, whatever, is the razor thin difference between me being existentially sad for 8 months or really happy. And it like very easily could have been the other one for either guild, you know? Like that's fucking crazy. But also like if we didn't throw like 6 hours on Fractalus, I just don't even think, you know, it would have not been that close. But every now and then you throw a Fractalus. It happens. You know? Winning is cool, but I'm here for the crazy Shaq quotes and chicken nuggies moments. Yeah. How's the cumber? I haven't eaten one. Actually, no, I had cucumber salad the other night. Dude, it was actually this is not an ad, but it was a Hello Fresh meal. I don't know if you guys have had this one. It's like couscous chicken and then a cucumber salad topping with like a yogurt sauce. This is not an ad. I've done Hello Fresh ads before. They're not paying me right now. They should. But bro, I don't know if you guys have ever had that Hello Fresh one, but that shit banged crazy. Max Fragnance acknowledged today that you guys had a friendly feral rivalry back in Mop. He had nothing but good things to say about you. Yeah, Frag's the homie. Him and I used to be like really, really close. Basically, the lore with me and Fragnance is I was like this up and coming player on NA, and I was playing feral, and he was like the feral guy. And then my logs were private, and I was like really arrogant. So I like wanted everyone to know I was good. So I would tell people I was the shit. I was linking pictures from our private logs and shit. And I was like basically saying I was the GOAT. And then Fragnance, someone who was like trying to bully me basically put me in a call with Fragnance and was like, hey, let's like see those logs, thinking that I like didn't have decent logs, you know? And Fragnance, I'm pretty sure joined that call with the intention of being like lil gupping me basically. And then I showed him the logs, and he's like, "Oh shit, this guy's actually like pretty good." And then that just started a pretty fun rivalry / friendship. We like so back then Warcraft logs wasn't a thing yet. It was World of Logs, and then there was this website called ProRaiders.com, and that basically like ranked. It was basically Warcraft Logs All Stars before Warcraft Logs All Stars. This is some PP old shit, like super old. I know. And Fragnance and I were the number 1 and number 2 Feral Druid. Basically, I would pass him on the reset. He would pass me. I would pass him. And then we both had like insane logs on every fight. And then he had like a crazy Iron Juggernaut that couldn't be beaten. I had a crazy Council and Thok that couldn't be beaten. And then one day I did a GDKP and I told everyone not to AoE on a Mercius. And I just solo AoE to Mercius. So I like jumped the Pro Raiders rankings by getting like the number 1 log on like the shitty first boss by like a mile. It was some scumbag shit. Just some absolute scumbag shit. And he fucking called me in like the middle of the night fucking yelling at me. Like he wasn't like really yelling, but he was like, bro, what the fuck? Yeah, that was our relationship. And then we were in a like a Skype. This is again old as fuck. We were in a Skype call with some Paragon people, some people that he hung out with in Europe. Shout out Zandy and Torpsy and Alzu and Never Know. And yeah, we just hung out and kind of just, you know, listened to 2013 trance and played video games. It was fun. Max, what do you think about the can't trade gear if you have a lower item level rule in WoW? Dude, that's so random. I haven't really thought about that. Like, there's some scenarios where I think it's bad. So, like, here's one. Let's say you have 2 non-mythic item level trinkets. And then you get a mythic item level trinket. Or no, this wouldn't even work, right? Because, like, in mythic, you can trade anything, right? Like, I guess this doesn't matter for anything. Do you mean, like, dungeons? If that's the case, because was the issue with old personal loot in raids. That's why personal loots in raid was not good. Because, like, it's only an issue for, like, a week in dungeons, honestly. But, I mean, it's kind of problematic. I mean, like, here's the reason I hated it in raid. We killed the second boss in Nyalotha, and it dropped this ring off of, what was that boss's name? The little, like the one that had all the, like, little copies of himself. And you had to pick the right one. He dropped, like, a pretty good trinket. Yeah, Skitra. Okay, well, Skitra had like an int trinket that was not good at all for Fire Mage and was really good for Ellie Shaman and like a few other casters that we had in. And it was personal loot back then, and our Fire Mage looted the trinket, but he didn't have 2 mythic trinkets, so he couldn't give it away, and it just rotted in his bags forever. He just looted a mythic item, and no one could use it, and he couldn't trade it because he didn't happen to have mythic trinkets, and the trinket was like unusably bad for him. I mean, that's just ridiculous, right? The fact that could ever exist. So that same problem exists in dungeons right now with personal loot, except dungeons only ever drop hero track gear, and, you know, past like a week, maybe 2 weeks, everyone has hero track, so it doesn't really matter. What do you think about the idea of turning old dungeons into delve content? I don't know why these questions are so outside of my normal area of talking about stuff, but I feel like that sounds really cool, right? Isn't like old dungeons as delve content like kind of sick? Yeah, it's actually pretty nice. Maybe they're a little too long. Mole people. Bro, I think we have to finally back down on the mole people thing, because every time I see delves mentioned anywhere on like Reddit or Twitter or anything, it's just people being like, delves are awesome. So clearly the whole mole person thing is that like these people don't really exist, but like they definitely exist. Like people love delves. Also, I feel like Blizzard kind of hit it out of the park with delves this season in general, because it seems like they're largely liked by people that choose to interact with them. And if you're like playing higher level, you just simply don't have to do delves. Generally speaking, there's some trinkets that are good, but they also the thing about delves that's supposed to be for like the high end community is like the Giga delve, right? It's the Nexus Princess one, and like I feel like they it took them an expansion to do it, but they totally fucking nailed that. Like that boss is clearly a banger. So I think delves ended up being a dub. Max, are you going to show off your Fractalus and P3 Nexus King tools? I can actually ask. Chat asking to see Nexus King tool and Fractalus tool. Do we show or not? Bubba says no. Okay, W. All right, can't show you. But basically, what we have for Nexus King is just like we saw P3 Nexus King on PTR. And from that, we were able to like get the speeds of all the planets, and we just developed a tool that allows you to completely simulate the last phase, where you can place, you know, the planets in any configuration, showing the current fall off damage, showing geometrically like where you're going to get sucked to, showing the dodge patterns. So we were able to, the version of the P3 strat you saw and everyone used was completely crafted before this tier even came out. But Bubba will kill me in real life if I show it to you, so unfortunate. Max, what are your thoughts with next season having 3 raids? Will it be the first guild to clear all the raids or separate races? I don't have an answer for either of those things for you. How things used to work, the last time we had separate raid releases like this, there are 2 that come to mind. The most similar is the beginning of Mists of Pandaria. They released Mogush Vaults 2 years later, or 2 weeks later, they released Heart of Fear. 2 weeks later, they released Terrace of Endless Spring. I believe Method on 25-man won Mogush Vaults. They came in second in Heart of Fear, and they won Terrace of Endless Spring. But because of that, they won the entire tier. It was all one raid tier. But even though they lost one of them, they still won the tier. Right? Kind of similar to, like, beginning of Legion, even though the time frame of the raids is a lot more spread out. Exorcist won Emerald Nightmare, and then Method won Trial of Valor, and then Exorcist won Nighthold. And Exorcist came in first for the entire tier. Another funny thing, I believe Serenity came in second during Nighthold. I believe that's true, and they died right after, and I think Method came third. I could be making that up. Can someone clarify that for me? I'm pretty sure that's accurate. Didn't Serenity get third? Maybe Serenity got third. I'm not sure. I can look it up. We can all look it up. WoW progress. Tier 18. Well, this is wait, what is this? Oh my god. So this is WAD, which would make this Hellfire Citadel. And that makes this the tier I'm looking at, but WoW Progress's data is borked, unfortunately. Okay, well, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. But that's how that is. So you're asking this question. Like, let's say, like, we win the 6 boss raid and the 1 boss raid. Wait, sorry. Are the 6 boss raid and the 1 boss raid being released at the same time? I believe they are, right? Yes? Okay. So I think those will be considered one raid. That would be like Heart of Fear. It's not 2 separate raids. Like, let's say theoretically they released 5 raids. Each of them had 2 bosses and they all came out at the same time at the beginning of a patch. That would all be one raid. The Race to World First would be 10 out of 10 Mythic and would not be 5 individual 2 out of 2s. Does that make sense? So the 6 and the 1 are going to be their own raid. And we can look at this today. What Blizzard apparently said is that the 2 boss raid that comes out later is intended to be hard. So here's my theory. I think the 6 boss raid plus the 1 boss raid, I bet the hardest boss that is going to exist in there is probably as hard as like Nexus King was. Little over 100 pulls. Maybe there's something a little harder than that, but it's just 1 boss. Why do I say that? Because Blizzard said that the 2 boss raid that comes out later is intended to be like really difficult. And all the tier is going to drop in the first raid. So I think the first Mythic raid that's coming out is not intended to be the race. It's intended to be like the gear for the patch. And I think it's Blizzard's next innovation into figuring out how to create the game for the Race to World First and how to create the game for everyone else. I think all the gear you're going to want in the patch is coming from the first raid. I think there's not going to be a Forge Weaver in there that's just way too hard, way too early. That raid's for the community. It's going to have all the gear you want. It's going to be easy to progress. And then what I think is that next raid that comes out is going to have 2 bosses that are absolutely fucking nuts. Like, if you're not a Race to World First guild, you're probably not even zoning in. But the reality is, if it doesn't have crazy gear, you don't really care. So this is my theory. I think Blizzard is trying to find a different way to challenge the Race to World First guilds and not grief the rest of the community. And I think they're also trying to kill splits. So yes, are we going to do splits for the first couple weeks on that 6 boss Mythic plus 1 boss Mythic and heroic splits? Yes. Definitely yes. But I bet it's not going to be worth to split the next 2 because you're already going to be so geared to where you're going to be able to like kind of start the race right away. This is my theory. It might be cooked, but I think that's what they're going for. So if that's the case, we'll probably fly out for the 2 boss raid and not fly out for the previous one. And what else that might mean is if the first 7 bosses, the 6 boss plus 1 boss thing are not too hard, it might mean NA reset. We kill that shit in like 2 days and it's not even close for EU guilds. That's weird and bad, but if it's not really the race, then it doesn't really matter. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if we kill, what happens in every single raid, except for this tier with the Fractalus goof, is we usually kill the first 6 bosses before really EU has a chance to anyway, because we're just in the raid a day early and they're not that hard. This raid might just be those 6 bosses and they're just releasing the last 2 in a couple weeks, if that makes sense. So definitely still not advocating for non-global release or anything, and it still sucks for EU to be like second to the content and stuff in those weeks. But like, even in the scenario where, like, if they are truly making easier content and they're separating an easy raid and a hard raid, I don't think people are going to really care about World First for it. You know what I mean? Like, if we go in there and smoke that shit in 8 hours, like, we're not nerd screaming. You know, we're like, all right, cool. I can't wait till the raid comes out. Max, are you guys ready for the Asmongold viewers yelling Blizzard is catering to the 1%? If my theory's right, isn't this them exactly not catering to the 1%? Like, they're actually kind of making this a little weird for us. I feel like this might be their shot at like having them be separate, if that makes sense. But also, I feel like Asmongold viewers are currently probably concerned with other things other than World of Warcraft. I think that's a little different. Max, I think it's funny how people get upset about the race when you guys literally put in hundreds of hours to get the kills, which would make us guilds months to do time-wise. Well, I don't even understand what you're saying. Why does those two things don't seem like they have anything to do with each other? But, I mean, people, it's just like a buzzword. Like, someone said at one point, like, there's a lot of this in WoW. There's a lot of you're not a kid anymore syndrome, which is like people try to point out all this flaws in the game and how it got so much worse from when they loved it, and the reality is they're just not a kid anymore. They have other things going on in their life, and that childish wonder you have about games just isn't the same, and they can't seem to figure that out. So they just like aimlessly blame it on things that make sense. You guys have heard a bunch of them over the years, and I think one of them recently has just been a race to world first thing. It's like, oh, the 1%, the MDI, the race, all Blizzard cares about is this, and that's the reason the game is bad, but have yet to ever really make any kind of credible argument that that's actually occurring. Except for recently. Actually, like, I think recently you can make a statement for that. Whatever is going on with the Styxes of the world and the Forge Weavers is really fucking stupid. Like, there's a lot of, like, people are like, oh, well, people don't go into Mythic Week 1. Yeah, they do. They kill the first 3 bosses instantly, and then they have no chance of killing the 4th boss. It's so stupid. Like, world top 10 guilds. Sorry, how many guilds killed Forge Weaver in the first reset? Does anyone know the answer to that? Was it literally 3? Like, Liquid, Echo, and Method killed Forge Weaver. And everyone else is just waiting until the reset. Like, that's really dumb. Do you know how good, like, some of the top 10 world guilds are that just raid less hours, and they're just sitting there being like, they didn't make this boss for us? Like, that's actually so stupid. Oh, another EU guild and a Chinese guild got it before reset. Okay, same point though, right? Like, that's not what a 4th boss is supposed to be. Max, before the race, you guys said that after the race, you'll have some banger potty C's. Is there any news you can share about that? No, other than I hope we're recording like today. I know we're waiting on them being ready to, we've been trying to record recently, but they're like raiding. Do you guys raid today? Can record? I'm already live right now. Let's go. No, we're not recording it when I'm streaming. I just mean like before you guys start raiding. Raid at 6:30, can before or after. At Dork. When raid. He's in my chat. Why did I add him in Discord? Live potty C, no balls? Nah. Max being done with raid while they're still progressing is like the unemployed friend calling you at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. That's actually kind of accurate. That is actually very accurate. Why are you guys still raiding, bro? Just fucking kill the boss. I think Mythic Dimensius, by the way, is going to end up becoming a lot easier. I was watching Instant Dollars do it last night, and all that's changed between them pulling the boss and us pulling the boss is one reset of gear and one the 3% damage and healing buff has happened, right? Bro, I was watching them pull it, and they're not clean in P3 yet, but I was watching P1. They're like so much less likely to die. Like, it's so insane. Like the RNG like shooters that can just kill people is just like, it's instead of killing you, it's getting you to like 15% or 10%. It's so noticeable what like an extra week of eye level is doing for that. And then also, it's not 15% more HP, but you get the point. It's like a lot safer. And last phase, I think we are like 1 or 2 weeks away from... This boss is very similar to Fyrak. Like, Fyrak was insanely hard, but it was so backloaded, and like basically the fight just got nuclear hard at the end. Right? If you watch here. Where's Liquid? Here we go. So this boss is like this part is I don't know why the quality is so bad. This part is not that bad. This part is all not that bad. This part is all not that bad. Difficulty of an end boss, like basically every part of Dimensius, every single part of Dimensius is harder than everything that has happened so far in Fyrak up to this point in the fight. And then you get to after the last thing here where you have 8 seeds, and this is like it just exponential difficulty increase, and this is what made Fyrak. If you didn't have to do the last like 8% of the boss HP like this boss minus 100 pulls or more. This boss that we just did is very similar. Where I think this boss is naturally going to nerf itself quite significantly. Because this fight, up until this point, so P1, massively easier with gear. Like, massively easier. P2, massively easier with gear. Although there is still a good, like, positioning requirement for the moves and stuff, but you're going to kill things so fast with gear that it won't matter. Dude, this part of the boss that you've been used to here, like, everything that happens here for the next 1.5 to 2 minutes... This is after a few pulls in this phase. This shit is free. Like this is not what was hard. I'll use the same Fyrak argument. You guys saw later when we're doing this shit, right? Everything that happens before this point is free, and everything that happens after the point where you're in this part of the phase is insanely hard. Like so hard. This part of the fight is like twice as hard. Or 3 times harder than any other individual part of the fight. This part is just like absolutely crazy. Okay? And you're going to skip this. Like 3% damage buff, a couple extra resets of gear. The boss is basically going to be like 10% or lower here. And if you just start losing people to this, like if you saw on our pulls when we started losing people here, it was guaranteed a wipe because we were going to run out of damage. Bro, you could lose like half your raid to these first rings and you will still kill the boss with gear. I think it's going to get a lot easier with gear. Is the last part overtuned or was it in the right spot? I think it was in the right spot. It wasn't overtuned for the Race to World first, but would be like completely overtuned for anyone else. But the thing is I don't think anyone else is ever going to see this. Like your guilds that are really good that are going to kill it this week, like Instant Dollars, guilds like that, like they will do this. But like, I think the 95+% of guilds that end up killing this boss or more will never see this part of the fight, or if they do, they can limp through it and still kill it. Like, dude, getting to this point of the fight right here with all your DPS alive is like just all-time insane crazy. Max, why aren't you streaming on Kick? I don't know. I just get no viewers over there. I thought about doing a bit, and the bit would basically be me doing normal WoW content and still streaming on Kick knowing it gets no viewers, but I'll make the title something that is Kick specific every day, like violence in the streets, or like stealing money from old people, or check out my new grift, or something like that, right? But it's just like you click on it and it's just me talking about World of Warcraft. I honestly think that would be fucking hilarious. But, or yeah, killing someone on stream. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, but I don't know. I just thought it wasn't worth it. So I just am not doing it right now. Check out my new grift. All right, let's unban some people.
Exposed right now, or make.
All right, question, mods. Have the unban requests been relatively screened? So some stuff on there you can leave for content, but I just want to make sure I don't have to like see some crazy ass shit and delete my VOD. Should be safe for work. All right, W. Let's get it. Mod view. Oh, do we not have that many on ban requests? It only says 9 plus. How many? Oh, 134. All right, let's get it. I mean, let's just get it. Okay. Chat, did Liquid use their advanced runes yet or no? Echo's about to kill when Liquid is dying in phase 1. Shame. That's unban. It's perfectly fine. P1 prog ... lol. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. Okay, I don't know. You guys tell me what you think. I personally kind of get why this happens. So if you just look at the singular message, it doesn't look that bad, and it's objectively not that bad. But if this is the entire chat, if there's hundreds of messages coming in every 10 seconds or so, and they're all like, bro, they're super dobby, the mood is terrible, it's like really pessimistic, I can see as a mod wanting to curate your chat and have it not look like that. Does that make sense? But when you look at it individually, it's like, was that specifically that bad? The answer is no, but like I understand why that happens. I would say more it's like a timeout, not a ban, if I'm going to be real. Like, mods, if we can learn from this, I think timing out messages like that, this is something that makes a lot more sense. It's also why we do unban requests. Okay, so certainly unban. Half of roster from EU. Imagine NA needs our help to win. Dude, I would love to go back and look at like chat history from people like this over the last few years, because I know what these people are like. A bunch of years ago it was NA could never win, and then we won, and it's like, oh, well, NA wins only because you have an advantage. Like, there's no way you could beat Mother Europe without doing that. And then over time we've just won 4 out of the last 5 races. And it's becoming really tough for these people. So now it's just, oh, well, I mean, you're basically not even NA. I mean, the only reason you succeed is because half of your team is European. But yeah, we can unban you. You're chilling. Let's see. NA head start. Coper. Let's see. Wall spike, stupid design. Oh, he says, look, people give subs like it's candy. Meanwhile, I'm homeless. He's just homeless. Global release wouldn't be fair. NA needs their head start to have a chance at least. Yes, copium. Yeah. But he's homeless, though. Unban. God, I'm just, like, giving mods. They're just going to have to ban this person again. Okay. What are we seeing here, bro? Every time I watch Racewell for the same story, limit waves 200 plus times, steal strats and MU guilds, and somehow claims they're the #1 NA guild. Like that even means anything. What? Imagine living on live servers as Blizzard's favorite test dummies and still barely squeaking out kills before EU does it. Clean with style. Clean with style. Limit's entire strat book is just method and echo VODs. What are you talking about? That's how could that. I mean, this has to be a pasta too, right? I mean, he's spamming it multiple times. If that's the case, there's gonna be multiple pastas, though. It even has emojis, bro. Yeah, unban. It was all in good fun. Didn't think copy pastas were trolling. Yeah, you're chilling. Let's see. Gender discriminating mods. Wait. If you die, 45-minute break, 90-minute break now. Hello, chat. I normally don't ask such questions, but I'm a single mother with 2 children. And I can't really afford a sub. I would be so happy if some strong male viewer with a beard and a good heart could help me and my children out. I also have a Snapchat, of course. And then Kim Izada, the person who only types Tar Island, banned that. I mean, that's pretty funny. Okay. By the way, dude, Kim Izada is kind of turning into Villavine, where you can tell his emotions based on how many times he's posting Tar Island. I'm pretty sure it's on my on the kill here. Does the chat still show up? Okay. Okay, right here. Like, as we're killing it, I remember going over and seeing him spamming Tar Island. Or maybe it was on Nexus King. But he was fucking, like, just blasting the chat with it. Oh, Villavine, too. Look, Villavine's hitting the fucking pirate. Look at him, dude. Villavine fucking knew, bro. Come on, where's the Tar Islands? Was I remembering a different boss? I might have been remembering a different boss. Dude. Oh no, there we go. Look, fucking Tar Island. Tar Island. Tar Island. Look at him, bro. I find that so funny that someone commits to the bit so hard that they do the, like, I only say one thing bit. Especially with something as stupid. Look, he's still fucking spamming it, bro. Okay, anyways. Little tangent. Echo is going to win this, right? How far are Liquid? Yeah, see, this is... I mean, even if this is, like, the whole chat and people are being super doomer, this is just simply a timeout, right? It's just simply... it just has to be a timeout. There's no way this should be a ban. This is what happens, though, when the only reason I ever mod people is not because they're reliable or anything like that. It's because they usually say something just really stupid or they do something irresponsible. Happens, though. Liquid can only win this race with boss nerfs. Ha ha ha. Dude, get fucked. You were wrong. And we played bad. All right, here we go. NA Clown? Yeah, 100%. Echo will win this race. EU to NA. Yeah, sorry, I'm Team Liquid, woohoo. Greetings from Germany, bratwurst. Okay, I was, like, clearly this part's sarcastic, but ripping the fucking bratwurst all caps at the end is easy unban. Echo win GG. Don't know why I get unban. Unban. Okay, unban. Oh, yeah, you, Echo's killing it. I was here. Nick keeps dying. It's the most intense fight of the universe, and all I said was Nick keeps dying as a comment. I'm a sub and a supporter for a long time. You don't just make me away from the chat for cooldown, but permaban. Yeah, I mean, that's probably a better timeout, but also, like, I personally find it really annoying when absolute casuals are in chat saying, this person keeps dying, or this person's bad, and... if you ever played a game with this person that you care about, like you care about the game, you love the game, you think you're good at the game, they would be so much better than you at that game, you would never play games ever again. And so I just find that so insane that just random people would just say that in chat. So that's my issue with that. But yeah, I'm unbanning you, but just don't do that. Okay, time to kill it. Wow, Mage wiped raid. I've been watching Max for years, and it was the first time. Don't know what. Yeah. Woe Leon was on a fucking killing spree. Echo DDoS, sus DDoS, 5.5%. Sang is always dead. Yeah, just don't do that. You learn your lesson. Just don't do that. Do some coke, this guy says. Lunch is for losers. Fuck food buff. Food overrated. Lunch is for losers. Eat your desk. Eat your desk. Eat your desk if hungry. Do some coke. I mean, that's just funny. Okay. Why is the B team doing the race world first? Just call it boys. I mean, it's just banter. If this was the pussy channel, just rename it. Get up, man. That's funny. That's just an insane thing to say. Okay. 16-hour head start and you're behind. Nah, y'all are annoying, bro. You're at this point, you are with everything that's available to you. Every comment that's been made by our guild and their guild. If you're in 2025 and it's Saturday of the second week and you are still complaining about NA restart, NA advantage, you are either intentionally being obtuse, right? You just don't care about any logic whatsoever. You just fuck this shit, right? That's you. In that case, I would deny, because it's like you're just never going to be a functioning member of chat, right? Or you're just fucking stupid. In which case, I would actually unban you, because I would feel there's nothing wrong with just being a little stupid. But I would guess most of the time, it's the other one, right? So, okay. Why I got banned? Echo 2%, and then you got banned. Why you got banned? Why I got banned? Okay, so this is very funny for multiple reasons, especially because he came back and he was like addressing it at the mod. But I personally find people in the race that just spam what percent the other guild is at currently to be, of the tier list of annoying chatters, they're like in S tier, just below the head start Andes and the pull count. Head start Andes, pull count Andes, and then it's people that just spam the percentage of the other guild. It's way up there. I'm gonna unban them, and they're just gonna have to. Actually, how much are they a interactor outside of races? Yeah, no, only messages one day ahead and still losing. Yeah, nah. Anna, bro, he's an NA head start, Andy, and one of, oh my god, this guy's like has the infinity gauntlet of annoying chatters. Holy shit, did I? Okay, this was a close race. Sang griefing. Yep, get out. Number 1, freedom of speech. Bro, he ripped the fucking freedom of speech, bro. Just right away. That's pretty fucking funny. Number 2, joking around. Number 3 was actually speaking the truth. Well, wait, which was it? Am I wrong in thinking that 2 and 3 here just directly contradict each other? Let's check their interaction outside of races. Is Echo farther progged best GGWP cucumber? Oh, he spams cucumber. That's pretty good. He has 51 messages. I'm guessing they're all during races. I'll unban him. It's fine. The raid starting with Sang floor POV, the raid ending with Sang floor POV. Guys, Sang got unfortunately infected with Dryny 19, and he was more sick than anyone possible. I'm surprised he was even able to continue raiding. Shut the fuck up. Deny. Actually, wait, how long do you? 99 plus? Spamming game. Why'd you make this one comment, bro? Why'd you have to make this one comment? I've been following Max for years, often on and off, subscribing. I watched Sang die 3 straight pulls and made a comment. No profanity, no disrespect. Bro. Okay, hold on. Do you think... Actually, this is a stream of God. No cursing. But could you imagine if he just like added a fuck in there? He would have been like, okay, I get the ban now. I said a bad word. No disrespect, simply the truth. The fact that this ban is actually ridiculous, given the things that chat is spamming. I mean, everyone else that was spamming this also got banned, but I'll unban you. I just hate when people do that. Guys, it's 1 a.m. Go to sleep and let the crown to EU. That's fine. If you read my message, you know I don't deserve a ban. It was a friendly joke. Yeah, it was chilling. You're good. Fired up. Keck W. Wait, why'd you get banned? Sorry, bro. He just fucking hit a sorry. He doesn't even know what he did. He didn't do anything. He just laughed. That's it. That's all he did. Oh, I'm sorry, man. Dude, Woleon was on an absolute fucking killing spree. Sang is always dying. Bro, stop this. I received no warning for this ban. What do you mean? Is that a thing? Do we give warnings for bans? Is that like, bro, you better watch it, buddy. Uh, 83 posts. Seem to be pretty happy. Yeah, we'll unban. It's fine. Okay. He said sang again. He got banned because he's talking about Sang dying, who had a bad case of Driny 19. But I feel like we're not talking about the message, jerk off the dog to feed the cat. Why? Was that a bit during the race that I never saw? Cats? What do you mean cats gotta eat too? Okay. And then he has... His profile picture is just a picture of him. Dude, I'm banning him because he belongs on YouTube, bro. With his whole first and last name having ass. Anyone on YouTube right now with that shit? Yo, checking this out. Opening up YouTube chat. Oh, there we go. Michael Lovat. Michael Lovat actually just got randomly banned. Jake H. Come on. Who else is here? Dennis Bean. Come on. That's actually probably a fake name. Oh, did I just unban that guy? Oh, fuck it. Let's see. Sang keeps dying against Sag. All right. Okay, he seems like he was not saying Sang is bad. He's just like, man, he's like rooting for the team. I really need them to pick this up. That's like kind of being like watching any kind of sports and being like, man, this guy really needs to pick it up. And sometimes they do. And that doesn't mean you're a bad person. It's just like, it's just weird in Twitch when you can say this shit to their face. Do you know what I'm saying? Here's what I think about. I'm thinking about Sang having a bad case of Driny 19 and then looking at chat and then just seeing people posting. Now, we don't look at chat for this exact reason, but I'm just imagining he does. And people are just like, yo, bro, you fucking suck. Stop dying, bro. God fucking damn it. That would suck to read that. So that's why you get banned. I'm gonna unban. Wait, what did he say? Fair wasn't trying to call players out, just hyped for a close race. Yeah, I know. I said Echo Sang as a meme after an early death. Did not mean it offensively. I was just joking around the chat. I love Sang and I love Liquid. It was not mean-spirited. Just excitement from an exceptional... Yeah, sure. Sang dead again. I don't know what I said was wrong here. Just commenting on... Wait, what? What did I click? I don't know. Wait, it went to a different one somehow? Oh, I think it's this one. Oh, yeah, just commenting on Sang being the same to die first, not criticizing or anything. Yeah, just like don't do that anymore. New one show up at the top. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Hello mods, apologies for the unclear chat, which I sent as a statement. I don't understand how Firedub just blows up. Seems fine. He's just mining what? I don't understand how Firedub just blows up. It seems fine. He's just walking, minding his own business. Okay, I'm so confused. I don't even know what the fuck this guy's talking about, and I don't know how this mod could know what he talked about enough to ban him. Did he say something else? I'm assuming like Fired Up got one shot. Like he was just being a mage and then he just blew up. That's what he means. That's it. Bro. Whoa, Leon. You gotta calm down, buddy. Damn, stop playing Wipeland, please, and don't die to shit you did 350 times. Bro, sometimes it really is just that easy, bro. Hello, mods. I'm sorry if my messages came across the wrong way. What other way could... Okay, I never meant to be rude. Damn, stop playing Wipeland. I guess that's not really rude. It's kind of just corny. I never meant to be rude. I was just joking about the wipes and trying to engage the stream. I really enjoy this channel and community and didn't intend to cause any problems. Please consider lifting my ban. I promise to keep my messages more positive. Unban, but you must eat an entire cumber. Sang throwing. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm just unbanning all the people that said this shit about Sang. Just don't do that again. I was joking. Nothing but love. Sang griefing. Get out. NA has lost. I mean, you're just objectively wrong. How can saying that get a permaban? Whichever mod did this is either the softest person in the world or an actual sociopath. I mean, Villavine, he might be a sociopath. I don't know. Like, we don't know enough about him. Like, he just, all he does is post that little pirate face. I mean, there's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying there's a lot we don't know about him. Unban. Okay. Easy Echo W. Bro, I said Easy Echo W. Come on, it was a joke. Yeah, just EU humor. Dear mods, yeah, Sang one. Can someone explain why Sang is always dead? I mean, this person's just looking for answers. And I think this is perfectly reasonable. I'll give an example. Liquid, or I think limit, complexity limit, Stone Legion generals. I'm looking for like a... Yeah, here we go. Okay, so on this boss, a lot of viewers are new to the race, and Nick's job on this boss, you'll see here, his job is... Whenever we have 4 heart rends go out, he mass dispels them and kills himself. This is one of the only bosses in recent memory where this was the case, but the correct way to do this fight was actually just to dispel this debuff onto one player and then either Onk Totem them or kill them. So Nick dies like 4 times on this boss on purpose. Now you might be like, okay, I get that, Max. That makes a lot of sense. Like, seems easy to understand. Bro, the entire chat during this... And this is back when we read chat while raiding. Which, by the way, look at Fired Up in this pic. What an absolute glow up he has had. Fired Up is like an absolute beast right now, bro. He is fucking aura. I mean, he had aura back then, too. But yeah, he had the entire chat was just spamming like, Nick's dead every pull. Bro, Nick is dead every pull. Now, if people had... the wherewithal to ask back then, can someone explain why Nick is always dead? Someone could have been like, that's okay, little gup, I'll tell you. He mass dispels the thing, and part of the strat is him dying on purpose. And then this guy would be like, okay, thanks, big gup. And then he would know. So maybe he was just looking for some kind of information, and then he got shot to death. Unban. Okay. It's over. Echo already at 5. Ooh. Do you think this chatter will remember that the next time something like that happens? Do you think they'll be like, maybe it's not over? Look, why was I banned? Unjust as fuck. I just want to type R parentheses. I mean, okay. Boomy dead again. Boomy dead again. Boomy also had a bad case of Driny 19. Come to think of it, actually, the people who were dying the most on this fight were the two people that were the most ill. They were really sick. Boomy was so sick he had to be put in an entire room by himself, and Sang was probably even more sick than him. Not surprising. Yeah, man, Boomy is ill as fuck, bro. No, not like ill or sick in the cool way. I mean, he is sick in the cool way, but he was like actually infected. Yeah, there's no way that could be mistaken. Okay. Didn't mean to trash talk Boomy. Well, you did. Or call him out. You just 100%. You are just objectively doing both of those things you just said you didn't mean to do. I love watching Max where I can, and the race in general. Okay. I'm a simple man. If you just kind of apologize a little bit, you can get unbanned. Saying kind of booty hole both ego and gameplay. Get out of here forever. Literally blow up. Actually, no, I don't want. Just blow up. No, literally, because that could be taken the wrong way. Okay. Saying Sang has an ego is also insane, by the way. Let's see. Boomy every time P3. I'm sorry for flaming Boomy. I got caught up in this race way too much. Yep, you're saying sorry, W. Wow, this is the poll. It was Nick's fault for sure. The comment about being Nick's fault was meant to be a fun remark, not to be taken seriously. I understand my mistake. All right, W apology, but also I don't even think you did anything wrong. GG lol. I apologize. I went too far. Oh, it's so funny. My favorite unban request by far is the one where they were banned for doing something completely innocent, and then they're like, what have I done? Fired grief was clearly satire. Yeah, you're good. Timber dead every poll. Lesson learned, lock it in. All right, lesson learned, all good. Just memeing around, don't think it's worth a permaban. Y'all should replace that noob healer lol. And then he said pirate software got it down to 4.5%. Yeah, this person's just an agent of chaos. Driny sucks. Ooh, I don't like that. Getting real caught up and being like, man, Driny's dying this poll. Like, I need him to do better. Driny sucks, though. That I don't like. Just teasing? Kesu said I would ban that man again when you're not looking. All right, deny. I do want to say right now, though, I don't give them a lot of attention, but I do really appreciate all the mods for the channel, especially the super OGs like Kesu and a few others that have been here for my whole streaming time. Always appreciate you guys. Okay. Please unban won't spread false info. I mean, spreading misinformation kind of goes crazy. Unban. Only if you promise to continue spreading misinformation. Why all hard end bosses liquid kind of choke? Trying to understand. See, I don't even really understand that. Is that the narrative in 2025 after the hard bosses we've done recently? All right. Sorry for the words I used. I meant no harm and didn't want to be disrespectful. Okay, this is what I don't get. Like, just write a normal unban request. Why even bother say I wasn't trying to be disrespectful? Hey streamer, how come every time you do something hard you kind of choke? No disrespect though. Dude, that's like super with all due respect coded, and then you just say the most disrespectful thing of all time. If you guys unban me, I promise that I'll be more polite. It's with ChatGPT. I mean, I've never typed a message into a clanker one time, so I don't even know what that's supposed to look like. I don't know. I'll probably unban him, but yeah. Okay, I know 5% pull for Echo and we're playing like garbage today. No. I mean, dude, bosses like Dimensius, especially when you're that close to another guild, you're filled with anxiety. So it's like hard to play consistently, but also we did play consistently. Like I feel like people before we killed it forgot that for like an hour we had like almost 3 PBs in a row. We had like a 12%, a 5%, and then a 3% within 4 pulls. And then in the 2 pulls before and after that, we were in P3 with no P1 wipes. So is that not consistent? By the way, at this time, Echo is turbo wiping in P1. But then that changes, and people are like, oh, we played bad the whole day. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, it just depends on what's happening at the moment. What happened after that is we started wiping in P1 again, and Echo started having consistent P3s. But like, let's not pretend like the race isn't a, you know, like basically a battle of attrition, and you're playing, you can't play consistently all day on a boss like that under that level of stress, and you're just going to go through waves, right? Anyways, I know what I did wrong. It won't happen again. He also said we. He said we. That doesn't bother me. I think you guys being extreme fans of the guild and like, if you were watching the race and your heart was in your stomach when you were watching Echo wipe really low and you were stressed out all day just praying that we would kill it, if that sounds like you, I have absolutely no issue with you referring to our team as we, because clearly you care about it as enough to do that. Personally. Okay. That doesn't bother me at all. Unban. Okay. Choo choo, the sleepy train pulling into station. Time for nappy time and wake up to Echo World first. And then he said this is the longest 15 minutes. What is that about? Did he originally get timed out for 15 minutes and then banned? I don't understand the maybe a 15-minute break. Oh, yeah, he sent this 5 days ago. I bet it was the lunch break. Oh, you need 15 minutes to appeal. And then the only other message he had was yesterday, go Echo. I mean, it's fine. The choo-choo comment's pretty funny. Damn Echo at 5% and Liquid can't even hit P3 consistently. Was this happening in Echo chat when they were wiping in P1 and we had 3 straight PBs that were lower than their best pull? Is this just what race chatters do in every single stream? But I assume they get timed out there too, right? Echo chat is way quicker with the banhammer. Yeah, because they probably have like professional mods, like people who went to college to do that shit. You know what I mean? My channel is just a bunch of like just people who are doing this shit as a hobby, average Joes, you know, complete beasts. But they're doing this shit out of the love of their heart. They're not doing it with degrees in hand. Okay. Sorry, mods. I am cheering for Liquid. Hashtag TL win. Okay. I was gear. 5%. GG race over. Okay. What? Why was this person... Wait, 2 mod comments. Let me check these out. One of my mods says cross ban from Echo channel. It was abusive towards players' partners. Oh. Oh yeah. That's a deny. That's super weird. Insanely weird. Okay. EU will kill. This is over. Is it really that bad? Not really. Just I hate that shit. Okay. Hope Echo's gonna win. You always got head start, and Echo job been on fire this tier. You know what I find so funny? That who can actually tell the difference between us playing good and us playing bad, or Echo playing good or Echo playing bad? Because isn't the exact barometer for Echo playing good purely based on how well they are doing in comparison to us? And then vice versa, how well we are doing can only be... the only way you can decipher that is how well we are doing in comparison to exactly them. So how can you tell if someone's playing bad or the other one's playing good? You know what I'm saying? Because, like, if someone's in the lead, you could be like, wow, they're playing insane. But maybe the other team's playing like shit, and you're just playing normal style. You know what I'm saying? It's like those two things are like almost completely indistinguishable. Anyways. I didn't mean to say anything harmful. Yeah. I mean, I can certainly sympathize with the I wish you guys were on the same time zone. Bro, can you imagine a race where Echo and us are zoning into Mythic and starting the first poll on the first boss at the same time? Bro, talk about fucking cinema. That would be just absolute cinema. It would be great for competitiveness, and it basically would make... Here's the business case for it. I think it would be a higher quality event for less time. So I think for 12 or 14 hours a day, it would increase total viewership, and it would be a bigger spectacle. It would cause this to grow because of its reach. However, one weird thing about the current time difference is that there is either Echo or Liquid rating 24 hours a day. So it becomes a 24-hour event where no matter what time it is, you can watch the raid and there's something happening. And that is also a reason it has grown. So it'd be very interesting to see. Obviously, I'm a fan of global release, but it'd be interesting to see how that actually played out when it happens. Okay. Back to the unbans. GG Echo. What did I say? It wasn't even that bad. Sure. Okay. Made some classic jokes. Guys, there are plenty of classic WoW streamers who can actually kill bosses to watch. What a fucking comment. I mean, that's just an insane comment. I mean, all unban. I just like that's such a... Okay. See ya. Easy lead for Echo. Stay behind, kids. See ya. Everyone here is just glazing Liquid and blaming Echo for everything. So cringe. Fuck Echo. Go method. Wait, what? Oh, wait. Okay, I just don't even... Okay, now I just don't even get it. The bro swapped teams? I'm just going to unban. He's just confused. All right. Versus Whisper, Elim, and Fu, this dude know nothing. Sorry, this comment was unnecessary. What? Okay, but what even was the comment? I mean, clearly it was meant bad because he said it was unnecessary, but, like, what were you even saying? Okay. Unban, I guess. Sang has died more than anyone in this fight, I swear. Was fired up and said something stupid. Sang is way better than me. Perfect unban request. Hope Echo's gonna win. You always get a head... Yeah, get out of here. Here we go. People with no understanding asking why Max is not playing, are the ones acting triad fans like, come on team, we are better, as if they're the ones playing. EU superiority. Please, I'm sorry, it was so long ago. This was... Oh yeah, this was so many years ago. Holy moly.
I'm inclined to say, unless you said something just completely reprehensible, if you got banned 3 years ago, just in the chance that you like grew as a person, I'm like totally down to unban you. This guy just says, fuck you, chat. I mean, this is on you guys. What do you guys think about this? They say, I would love to celebrate the win today. I promise I'm not acting like an idiot anymore. Someone says, I almost respect him. All right, unban. I feel like Timber's having a hard time sub him out. I came home drunk and I shouldn't have said to sub him out. My apologies. Dude. Okay, let's just say someone in the raid is actually dying a lot. Do you know how much like atomic level regression would happen if at this point in the race we swapped out a fucking healer? I mean, like, instantly lose. Like, just instantly lose. So, okay. Yeah, sure. Echo go Europe forever. See, this is what I'm talking about with, like, I've said this before, where the best way I can describe usually the most, like, intense Echo chatters, I refer to them as EU nationalists. And then people are like, what the fuck does that mean, EU nationalists? And it's the only way I can describe people like this. This is exactly what I mean. Go Europe! You know what I mean? There's so many people like that in the race. EU's not a nation, so it's not nationalist. Yes, I know that. I'm just saying it makes sense, though, right? Like, I feel like when I say it, you know what I mean. Okay. Wait, why am I unbanning? Okay, very strict, but may the best man win. Yeah, get out of here, bro. All right, you are so bad. One day ahead, and you're behind Echo and A are just so bad. Why'd we win, though? Oh, I mean, in this person's mind, it's because we get the raid like 2 days before them or something. Said the same thing before. At this point, if it's 2025, you're either a brand new Race to World First viewer, in which case I could give you a pass. You're intentionally obtuse. Like you've heard logic before and you're like, I'm not fucking taking it. No. Right? Intentionally obtuse or stupid or new. I don't think new. Let me see if like there's I mean, they have only posted in this year. He's also banned in Fired Up's chat. Ooh. A mod comment? Oh, I'm sure that's what the mod comment is. How weird that the European servers are down, but not the Americans. How strange. What could be going on here? Something's up. All right, W conspiracy brain. Okay, Echo win today, and then question mark. Day advantage hitting hard, man. Let's see. Being a Liquid fan, boss doesn't die. Boys wake up to a dead boss. This is the number one thing that chat gets worried about every single tier and just doesn't happen. Okay, let me ask you a question. Do you think that if we thought that Echo was going to kill the boss when we were asleep, that we would go to sleep? Like, I feel like we are probably the people most qualified to know how close Echo exactly is and how hard it's going to be for them to do what we did the previous day. Right? Like, and usually you can tell by, like, how well you think you played or whatever, but, like we just wouldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? It's the thing most often worried about that, the Raza nerf. Okay, but do you think that's ever going to happen again? Now, if they ever had, you know, this is an interesting question, actually. Let's say this boss did need to get nerfed. It didn't. And multiple bosses this expansion, Ansurek and this boss, were unbelievably hard, but yet somehow perfectly tuned. So they haven't had to do this. But, like, I wonder what an end boss nerf even looks like and when they do it. I bet Blizzard stresses out about that so much after Razageth. Like, when do you do it? It's like, it's almost impossible because, like, naturally what happens on every end boss is We wake up, pass them, they go to sleep, they wake up, pass us, and then we go to sleep. And no matter when you nerf the boss, it's going to be fucked for somebody. Like, someone's going to be just waking up and not in the flow of pulls yet. Someone's going to be... Naturally, people are ahead at different times. Right? So, like, there is, like... You basically just have to hope it's perfect. When both guilds are online. Bro, what happens... Okay, but if we wake up, we're going to be behind, like we always are, just like when they do it. So, like, nerfing it when they wake up is kind of like... Well, I mean, we're asleep at that point. The only time both people are playing is, like, right after we wake up. But, like, just because of the way the race works, you're always going to be behind when you wake up. Always. So then you're nerfing it, and it's, like, guaranteed that they're going to be in the lead. But then if you wait until we're at the same point, they're going to be about to go to bed, which is fucked. Like, there literally is no time without global release that you can nerf these things. I bet it stresses them out insane. The only thing they can do maybe is, like, they announce, like, a day ahead of time what the nerfs are going to be, and they announce when they're going to post them. And then, but then you can't, like, really change your schedule. If someone's, like, waking up early or going to sleep late because of that, you're already cooked. Like, that actually fucks you so bad. So, I don't know. Anyways. Cool. Unban. I'm going to start rapid firing through some of these. There's a million of them, so. Suck off Walmart. SWAT Echo. Sorry for being dumb and going against the reason that ill-mannered joke. Why did you... Wait. SWAT Echo. I mean, this person's just, like, fucking around, I think. Wait, did they mean to say that? Wait. And for that, I understand. And then using swatting as a joke... Definitely weird. He does hate Walmart, though. Or he really likes Walmart. Yeah, deny. That's what she said. Stop dying saying. Yeah, just stop doing that. Timber dead. Stop doing that. Riku perma dead. Bro, that was last year. Yeah, just stop doing that. Okay, my bad on the aggressive tone earlier. Just a liquid fan. Lamau, imagine thinking Echo could touch liquid shoes. Did y'all forget he's been farming world first like it's a part-time job? Echo's roster is just Liquid's retirement home at this point. Hashtag copium overdose. What the fuck? What a message. Unbench Trill. Bench Timber. Get out. Wait, I got banned for asking Blizz who had banned Fired Up when they banned multiple Echo. Ban Inc. if Blizz fair? Oh, this is a Fired Up cringer. Nope. Fired Up cringer. Forever deny. I was here. Lock in. What the fuck? G-kick. Yeah, just don't do that. Guys, Method at 48%. By the way, P3 with 180 pulls. Yeah, it's actually crazy. Did you guys see how much better Method played on Dimensius than us or Echo? Look at this shit. Look at this. Liquid pulls to kill Dimensius. 390. Not good. Echo? Their shit doesn't show, but I'm pretty sure it's 394. Method? Check this shit out. Fucking like 317. My goat. My goat. Both Echo and us got absolutely stomped by Method this tier. Holy shit. All right. So Method actually won? Yes. Wait, imagine having to come up with strats and optimization. No, that's not real. No one copies strats. It doesn't save you any time by going after. It's not real. Minus 80 pulls on that boss, by the way, is like an entire day of progress. It's all good, though. You don't waste any time going ahead, for sure. All right, method at 48%. For what ban? I just give no blame. All right. Timbermaw getting released after this tier. Stop that. Chat, trash players. Obvious sarcasm is obvious. Is it, though? All right, why am I being banned for telling the truth? Oh, this is going to be good. EU about to steal this one with lazy gameplay, and then I peek over at the thing. Why am I being banned for telling the truth? What is this? Trump's U.S. team? Fascism is bad, okay? I understand you're just trying to get your nut, but you should really adhere to reality and not ban people for speaking the truth. Well, I mean, okay, first of all, it's not even the truth. It wasn't true. What you said was wrong. But then also, dude, what a crazy message. Okay, sorry, is this message like a bit? Are they doing a bit, or are they like being 100% real? I think it might be real. I think this person's being 100% serious. Because like if it was a bit, you could have made this so much funnier. So it's either like a really bad attempt at a bit, or it is being real. It's from South Park? Okay. Oh, true. I didn't get the South Park angle. Okay, it's a bit. It's just not that good. What do you guys think, chat? Chaos unban? Okay. Healers died of personal mistakes. The mistake of not stepping 1 foot inside the planets to avoid the suck. So one thing that's kind of important to acknowledge for the race. So let me just tell you one thing. The guild has very good skill parity. What that means is that the average skill of like the best and the worst player in is extremely small in the race. Extremely small. Okay? So when you see like a certain role dying, like tanks are dead a lot on this boss, or healers are dead a lot on this boss, it's usually an indicator that the boss is just really fucking hard to heal. Like insanely hard to heal. Like the harder a boss, like think about it like this, right? I'll give an example from our kill actually. Okay. So look at this moment right here. There was actually a wipe earlier in progression that I used usually to explain this point. Okay, so at this moment right here. Okay, right after... No, this is the earlier... Okay, we can use this suck. Okay, so right here, after this suck happens, everyone has to do this in the raid. But healers, everyone now just has to look at rings and go to them. The rings are over here. They spawn right now. All right, what the healer has to do is every other DPS is just like, okay, I'm going to continue just hitting the boss, just like I have been doing. Maybe I'm in my cooldowns, like Fired Up's about to go into his cooldowns here. But like generally speaking, I'm just going to move to here. What healers are thinking is, I have to move to here, which by the way is extremely hard. If you strafe in the wrong direction, you instantly die. But if I don't heal everyone up to 100% HP 3 times within like 12 seconds, every single person is dead. We're going to wipe. Like this is one of the hardest phases to heal ever. If even like a couple people die, you are going to wipe. So like this is just a scenario where like if you saw healers die a lot here, it's because what they are actually supposed to do here is way, way, way harder than everyone else. So when just saying that and like the whole like, oh my God, healers are dying. I promise you, our healers are not bad. They are not like worse than everyone else. If our healers are dying a lot, it's due to one thing. They're just doing something simply harder to do than the other players. Not every fight is like that. Some fights are harder for healers. Some fights are easier. Some fights are harder for tanks. This boss was a crazy tank boss. Insanely hard to tank. But yeah. Echo, echo, echo. Bro, cool. Why is Cinny always dead? Wait. Imagine you're a mod on a popular channel and you get banned for asking a question. Wait. Is he hitting us with a do you know who I am? No, I don't think so. I think it's language barrier. I think what they're saying is like, imagine you're a mod on a popular channel and then you ban me for asking a question. I think. I just refuse to believe this person is hitting us with a, do you know who I am? I'm a mod for another channel. I don't think so. Max would unban me immediately and ban the mod who banned me. Nah, I wouldn't do that. You should have chosen your action more wisely. Bro, what the... Dude, this person thinks he's the Joker or something. Bro, are you a super villain? What are you fucking... What's going... Bro, this is what happens when you watch too much anime, man. What the fuck up. He hit it with a have a good day at the end. Jesus Christ. Oh my god. No, that is not a chaos unban. Too much chaos. Why did you get timed out 3 times within 1 minute and then banned? I've never even seen that before. Sorry, man. It's just how it is. I hate that it's like that, but it's true. No mod comments? Oh, here we go. If Echo kills a Titan, Echo kills it under... it's a... Yeah. Unfortunate head start, Andy. Boomy and Cine always dead. Got banned. You posted a ASCII of THD. I was frustrated at the moment and wrote things. By the way, I love the THD ASCII that just says pooped on his forehead. Have you guys seen that one? That's a fucking banger. While fighting mentions added negativity to chat. All right, you apologize. All good. Whoa. Can I just cop a long ass mute? Chat's hard to read on the overlay and I can't see it if I'm banned. Bro, what is wrong with you, man? Like who types that? Like that's okay. Come on, little guy. You probably won't believe me, but I meant to copy and paste System of a Down lyrics, but I pasted the wrong message instead. Lamau, I'm sorry. I mean, he did just say love that song. But why is this on your clipboard? Am I wrong? Or like, did you post a System of a Down lyric and it... Okay, there's so much going on here. That was like an hour earlier. I don't... Okay, how 99 plus messages. Most of it seems fine. What do you guys think? What do you guys think, chat? Unban? Okay. Another world first due to timing. Yeah. Okay. So close to Echo with the date. Okay. W. All right. Thank God people stopped the copy pastas. Totally ruined my experience. Any gifters? Oh. Oh, whoa. Yeah, no. Whoa, no. Jesus Christ. Okay. Wow. Okay. Liquid based in Holland, so EU is winner regardless. What? Any head? Yep. Any head start. Andy. Why they stand with this maximum? He is not playing just blah 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 each pull. And then he hit with a dead again kick, please. Unban. All good. Sorry. And he hit me with a sorry. That was my little brother. Okay, that goes hard. W lie. Maximum EMP strikes at EU servers. Yeah, it's not a big deal. All right. Method is on y'all's ass. Were they? Were they though? All right. Hey guys, stop DDoSing EU. I was just joking. Didn't mean in a malicious way. Potentially just poor timing. Yeah. okay. Don't see a reason why to get banned. Sorry if I offended anybody. Why you dying here is crazy. Sure. 12 hours plus DDoS. Good job, America. Yeah. Frustration will not be vocal anymore. I mean, okay, why would you unban someone when they're saying they're not going to be vocal, but the only time they've been vocal, they said some dumbass shit. You know what I'm saying? How did this happen? Auto mod queue. So somehow someone ended up putting. They get this shit off my screen right now. Just get out of here. Minimize to dock. Yeah. God damn it! Found a way to put a bird cock on my screen. Fuck. Oh my god, there's staff in here. Oh my god. Oh my god. I think I'm doing my job. Ban me and I will write the most convincing unban request ever. Ban unban speedrun attempt. Okay, doing it. I don't know if that was the record, but... okay, so I don't understand this. So do we unban them? Nah. Can't win, so DDoS EU servers. That's fine. Hi, Max. Sorry for posting THD Booba in the chat. What? What is THD Boob? I mean, okay. What? Sorry for posting THD Booba in the chat while the chat was in THD mode. I do not believe they should be hidden from the world, but if THD is becoming more demure than my ban was warned. I mean, do they ever type anything else besides THD Boobas? They have 99 plus messages. All right, Chaos unban. Don't kill the boss in solidarity with EU. They go sleep. What? Sorry, from now on I will be a better person. NAD-DOS EU. This just doesn't even matter. Like this is clearly such a bit. Like I don't know why anyone's getting banned for that. US DDoSers, it just doesn't matter. The DDoS stuff doesn't matter. I didn't even when did their servers go down? Like when did that actually happen? I was completely unaware of this. Like early P3 Demi pulls. 2 nights before the kill. How long? We couldn't play for an hour at one point due to like people just kept getting DC'd every pull. Was it longer than that? It was like an hour. Okay, so same shit. I'm sure maybe they got some DDoS messages or something. I just don't even know why these were banned though. Can I get banned just so I can appeal it? W mods for letting me appeal even if denied worth it. Dude, kind of want a chaos deny. This is like an insanely value chaos deny, but I think we're sending the unban. Echo first pull 10%. I didn't even type anything. But yeah, you did. It's right there. Okay. Oh, a year ago. Yeah, but like it was a year ago, but I just don't even, whatever. It's been a year. It's a Riku thing. I didn't realize talking about other teams' polls was bannable. It should have been a timeout, honestly. Goop is poop. Full chat ban. Lol, it rhymed. It was a joke. He died. He died a lot. I'm sorry. I didn't know it was ban worthy. Yeah, just don't do that. Cool. Sorry, I didn't mean to come off as toxic. Just what I've been noticing. Yeah, it's certainly toxic. All right, triggered a long time ago. Fuck Walmart or something based USA. Hey, Splintered Up is third on the meter. Why is that? It's a fired up cringer. All fired up cringers never getting unbanned. Although, is it possible they were just like misled by Gingy? And it's not their fault? I certainly think he knew what he was doing. Okay. I'm sorry for calling Max a crypto shill. Coinbase is declaring bankruptcy. Why are you scamming all your viewers? Sad. So I can spend my life savings on crypto sponsors. Liquid, there are men. If they can't do it, maybe Echo will. That's actually fucking hilarious. That's fucking beast. Unbanned. That's actually funny as fuck. Okay. So no comments since I don't exploit. I like you. I okay, mate. What? What are you even spamming? Oh, fired up cringer. Suspicious user shared ban info. Inting as usual from last year. Oh, gotta be a fired up cringer. No mod comment, but I only share ban info with like 2 streams and one of them's fired up. So extremely. What's a fired up cringer? People who like got all up in arms about the Spellslinger fired up shit in Nerebar Palace. Let's see. Another race, another chance. Oh, you just keep sending them? I mean, I respect that, but yeah, no fired up cringing. That was like 2 raids ago. I don't give a fuck. That was fucked up. Literally everything that was done was normal as fuck. I understand people were upset because there was like bans that happened recently for rep, but they used that as an opportunity to send people who don't know how this works after him, and he dealt with a lot of crazy ass shit. Death threats. He was on fucking... There was like a Dexerto article about it, and it was all over fucking nothing. So fuck everyone that had anything to do with that. Alright, I was memeing over a troll, and somehow I was banned over it. What? Oh, does Liquid have a DEI program? Yeah, get out of here. Stop talking and pull the boss. I mean, this guy just wants us to pull. Unban. You banned him? Oh, W. Za. USA #1. Oh, wait. What the fuck is a mile? World first PUV. Oh, wait. What? Unban me. I mean, he okay. He said it clear as day. Liar, money people. Do you stop me again? I'm very sorry. I hope we can start all over again. Let me show you that I am sure. Hope you will let me start again, Karen. What? What? What is... What? Liar, liar, liar. And then I think he called me a Karen, but just with an I? Chaos unbanned. Bullshit MM is A tier. Okay, let's keep it a buck. When Azertharian came on here and said that hunters were not as good as you guys were saying they were, and all you guys got mad, can we at least acknowledge that he was right? This was in wait, when was this? 2023. Okay, this is a different tier, but it's the same thing. Okay, would it help if I just minimized this? Guys, you guys got so mad at Azer, and he was just trying to tell you the truth. That was it. Okay. I don't see a valid reason for the ban in the first place. Sure. What was his name? Crazy name. I didn't see his name. Go Echo, go Echo. Hello World Second Method logo. Oh, this was an old Method turned Echo fan. No mod comments, just a go Echo. That's fine, right? What's wrong with a little go Echo? All good. Didn't say that much. I think it was mean as a joke. You didn't have lust nubs. What? No mod comment? Yeah, you're good. These are all 6 months ago ban request. How many? Oh, I only have 16 left. I can bang these out. Any clip of the kill, 70 pulls ahead, early access as per yep. Oh, wait, he said, I learned my lesson. Release me. I kind of doubt that, but chaos unbanned. Noobs just pugged it. Heroic, you're still wiping. I mean, it's just, yeah, why ban? Wow, your mages are doing crazy damage. Holy cow, that's sus. Nice bug abuse. Nice bug abuse. Twas but a meme. Nice bug abuse, idiot. Nope, fuck you. Fuck you. I excluded the cock from the bird, so not sure why I was banned. Did you post head? I can't tell because the ASCII's all messed up. Is that... Yeah, you can see the fucking tip, bro. Right there. Isn't that... I see the tip when... I know the tip when I see it. I'm pretty sure that's what it is, even with the fucked up ASCII. I'll unban you, but stop doing that. Okay. I mean, the exploit is pretty obvious from a VOD. Nope, get out of here. Oh, wait, I get there was a lot of BS with the whole exploit thing, but I think my comment was pretty tame, and I also said that they gained nothing from it, therefore it wasn't that important. Wait. I think it's enough to warrant a punishment or not, as I haven't killed the boss yet, and therefore gained nothing with it for now. Yeah, maybe that's fine. Being reasonable about it instead of just being like a army with pitchforks out over something you don't understand. Okay, I don't thought this text was that bad. Wait, Echo's still asleep, so please do the kill. They don't deserve it. I apologize. I will not say anything about another team. Okay, apology, W. Yeah, I think shitting on Echo in this chat is also weird. But apologies and moving on is fine. Started later, win earlier, EU pure dominance. When was this? 2023. I don't even remember what the fuck raid that was. I was young and stupid, though. I realized Echo is not the team I like. What? Really? When did you figure that out? Oh, Fireact. Well, what'd you find out about that raid? Chaos unbanned. He said he was our fan now, so good. Can't think why. I'm sorry I was being childish. Can someone who pitchforked fired up grow from that? That is a question. I don't think so. Nope. Like, I mean, in a way, I kind of don't blame a lot of the fans. Like, there was all that drama with bans. We got banned in, we got punished in, what was it? Amirdrasil for seeds for exploiting rep. And then the next raid happens, and then Method and Echo do it, so they get banned. But then, like, I guess a lot of EU viewers didn't know that, so they were, like, up in arms. Like, how come Liquid didn't get banned this much? But, like, if you look at it from Blizzard's perspective, doesn't it make sense if people keep exploiting rep that the punishments continue to get more severe? You want to know why we didn't exploit rep in Erebar Palace? Because we got punished for it in Amirdrasil. The other two guilds didn't, so then they did it. And then the punishments got more severe. Now, bro, do you think we're ever going to exploit rep again? If there ever isn't a rep to exploit? Because the next time, if it continues ramping, they're going to do it in the middle of the race and you're going to lose because of it. So no one's ever going to do it again, right? Unless you're really stupeful. Maybe Hopeful would. But because of that, all the EU fans are like super up in arms about the ban stuff. So like, even though the fired up thing is completely different, I kind of don't blame fans for being... They're like a fire that has a bunch of like lighter fluid on it, just waiting to get lit. But like, it was Gingy that lit the match. You know what I'm saying? Like, Gingy 100% knows the difference between what is an exploit that's bannable and what isn't. And he's the one who sent them on whatever they did. So in a way, I kind of don't blame the chatters as much, and I think they can grow from it. But that guy 100% knew what he did, and he's also done it multiple times. So maybe the chatters have some kind of redemption. I don't know. We've already banned all of them, though. All right, sorry I won't be dumb anymore. Yeah, this is looking like an ass expansion. Why did this guy get banned for flaming the expansion? This expansion is fairly mid. Ban. What? It's not bugged. One guy fucked up. Echo is knocking guys. Oh, dude, I do notice that sometimes. Like, sometimes when we are in progression, like, I would say once in every, like, maybe 100 polls, there's some kind of weird lag happening on the server or people are DCing. But you notice in chat every now and then, people are, like, suspicious of that. Like, we're doing this at the highest level. We're trying to kill the boss. But in like in a really lower ranked guild, what you might hear sometimes is someone makes a mistake and can't admit to it, and they're like, "Oh, bro, I was just lagging" or something. Like, that is something that literally never happens in this guild, and I think most people know that because they watch this over a long period of time. But every now and then, someone will be like, "Oh, I DC'd," or "I'm lagging," or something. Like, I have insane lag. And then someone in chat will just be like, "Yeah, I'm sure, bro," and they're 100% serious. Like, they think that person just made that up. I've always found that to be, and I think that's kind of what this is. Like, we'll say like a boss is bugged, right? Like, we're doing a boss and there's a mechanic about it that's bugged. This happens a bunch of times during the race. Sometimes it's like a pretty minor bug and we learn how to play around it. A good example is this, actually. On the first pull of Dimensius, on the first like day of Dimensius, this was happening to both guilds. So here's how this mechanic works. You guys see this little purple circle right here? So Blizzard's way of making you not be able to stack these on top of each other is if you are ever on top of these pools, okay? So if you were to stand on this pool right now, it's going to do damage to you, but it's also going to give you a debuff that makes you take 100% more damage from everything. Okay? But for the first day we were on this boss, I would say maybe once every other pull, someone would die to a bug, which was this thing would just hit you twice. We have multiple clips of it where someone will just be completely on their own, and then this would happen, boom, dead. Look in the death log, and they'll have 2 damage events from this circle, which will just instantly kill you. That was one bug. Another bug is you would die to this as well, but not because you took 2 ticks of the thing going off, but because it said it actually happened on the very first pools of the fight. These pools right here that you were just watching, they would die to having the debuff. They would have death logs of this pool hitting them for 30 million damage, which can only happen if you have the buff that makes it do double damage. But how could you have the pool buff if this is the first pool of the fight, right? So 2 separate bugs. They fixed both of these within like a couple of hours on the day we woke up and like really started progressing this. But people were dying and saying like, "Oh, like the pool double ticked, it bugged." And then we're all like, "Oh yeah, we know that happens. That sucks. Res them and keep going." But then if you were to ever look at chat, people are like, "Yeah, I'm sure it fucking bugged, bro." yeah, I bet. Yeah, it bugged. Yeah, for sure, dude. They just think you're fucking making it up. All right. Let's see. Unbanned, fine. We only have a few left. Nice steady P1 better than Echo lols. I'm sorry to say something annoying. Please give me one more chance. You can permaban me if I do it ever again. All right. I'll remember that. I won't, but maybe someone will see that in there. Crossban, no mod comment. Not crossbanned in any other channel. No mod comment. Did not speak in the channel for potentially a long time. I mean, I'm like 60% sure that this person said something really weird in another channel and got banned for it. In fact, this was, I believe, the Spellslinger day. but they weren't actually banned in another chat, which makes me think that wasn't. So I'm like 60% sure they were banned for the right reason, but I'm still 40% sure it was actually a complete accident. So I'm actually going to unban, and if they're ever weird again, then yeah. Liquid on track for world third. Okay. I don't think what I said was that bad. It was just a question because Method and Echo were in the lead at the time. Where is it possible that it's not just a new Race to World First viewer? And are there people who've been watching the race this whole time? And whenever we go to bed and wake up and the other guilds are ahead, people are like, oh my God. Like, oh my God. Is this finally happening? 3-horse race? Liquid's losing to, you know what I'm saying? Like I could see like a new race viewer, but like, I don't know. There needs to be a way to differentiate. Like, I don't even know how to say this. I guess it's like casual versus experienced viewers. Like, for example, there was a day on Dimensius where we went from like 34% to 17% in one day, a full day of progression. And I'm sitting here being like, we had an insane day. We played amazing. And then people who are listening to the chat that like kind of watch this a lot, they're like, holy shit, Liquid was consistent today. Great day. But then like a casual race viewer that purely looks on percentages is like, oh, like they kind of threw today. It didn't really do that well because like all they know is percentages. Like, yeah, they're percentage Peters. And another example of this is both of us are under 5%. And then when someone wipes at 0.2% or whatever, they're like, oh my God, this is crazy. That other guild is in the lead now. But like nothing, basically, okay, Echo being 5% best to 0.2, literally nothing changes. When they had a 5% wipe, it could die any pull. And when they wiped at 0.2%, it could die any pull. The percentage at that point is not really relevant. And you kind of saw that from the fact that we went from like, I think 3% to dead. Right. It was just, and that's why the guilds were so stressed out, because it doesn't matter if you wiped at 0.2% and the other guild's at 3, there's no more progression. It will just die on any pull you do it relatively clean. Right. But still people will like go crazy because they're like, oh my God, they're closer. Another thing was when we woke up that day, Echo was at 17% and we were at 17%. And then when we actually started raiding, they had a 12% wipe. And like basically their 17% pull and their 12% pull were identical. They were like identical. They just like inched out a little bit more boss damage, but like the boss wasn't any more or less killable. It was the same thing if you know what to look for in the race. But when we woke up, people were like, oh my God, Liquid woke up still in the lead. Oh my God, like this is fucking over. And then within like 20 minutes, they had a 12% wipe, which is nowhere near a kill. And is just as close to a kill as the 17% wipe if you look at the actual wipes. But then chat immediately was like, bro, Echo's gonna fucking win, bro. Like, no way. Like, how is this even possible? Fucking, you gotta start raiding right now. But like nothing actually changed from the 17% to the 12% pull. But people just see like the percentage go down and they're like freaking out. That's what I'm saying. It's like the difference between a casual viewer and like a experienced viewer, I guess. There needs to be a name for them. All right, here we go. 5 more requests. Let's go. Ban me for content. All right. Chaos unban. Liquid on track for world third. Okay, whatever. Unban. A few more. Just want to get done. Yo, I love the channel. I just asked a question. What is it? Is I'm fired up banned? I mean, all he did was just ask. He's not implying he should be. Yeah, no, he's fine. Can't see. Oh, it's behind the thing. Sorry, I'll pop it out. What? Hello, Maximum. My husband and I, in parentheses, both male, wish you the best of luck on this session, and we're gonna dream about you tonight. Cheers. Good night. All right, just a little friendly. He's a little horned up, but all good. And then that lady has never used a hula hoop in her life. What? What could they even be talking about? That was during a dev interview? You banned him? Oh. If it was deleted by, well, I'm a little biased here, but this guy usually bans for the right reason. Hula hoops, it was a wait comment. Oh, yeah, get out of here. Okay. Demon Slayer goes hard. I'd hit for sure. The Demon Slayer shit goes hard as fuck. Finally a good max stream. Oh yeah, I'm assuming the I'd hit for sure is talking about some girl that was on the stream, which is just like super weird. Maybe. Is anyone else seeing it differently? I don't know. No, wait, this is the... It's Zalatath from the cosmetic, or from the cinematic? I don't know. I'm just going to unban them. Because, like, it seems like it might be weird, but I'm just not sure. Like, Max, no, there's more stuff up top. Max, are you guys recruiting a guild fangirl? In parentheses, I'm a boy, though. She's yapping on the AirPods. It's been banned before. I don't know. Definitely a little strange, I think. Dude, we fucking did it. We fucking did it. 2 hours? No, I actually want to go over a few more things. I guess we could do the gamescom stuff on another day. Has it been 2 hours? Now that you guys are mentioning it. Oh, boys, it's a little over 2 hours. Nah, I mean, let's do a little Gamescom today. How about that? So let's tackle like one. Okay, so where can I even find? Oh, and there's a Haruma Red video. It's like hardest bosses ever to heal. Let's find one thing that I care about. So I'm assuming there's some like good interviews. What is it? That video will tilt you for sure. Wait, what video? Max, everything is in We Steal. Wait, did you guys get this? You guys got this for me? Oh my god. Okay. So we have has timestamps, talks a lot about new systems in Raid. We have WoW developer interview with these people. Kexman interview has no timestamps, and then the Wowhead summary is here. Okay, and that's the Mr. GM interview. We're definitely not going to look at all of these. Then there's this the straight up systems download dev panel. That I definitely want to watch. 100p. Okay, so chat. I want to say that I want to look at the World of Warcraft systems download dev panel on a different day and like go hard on that. So we're either looking at the interview with Marcellian and Flame, or we're looking at. Well, actually, let me think about how much time I have. How much time do I have? Let me do some research here. I might have time. I'm actually pretty sure I have time to do everything, maybe. Don't get your hopes up yet, though. Dude, I finally downloaded the new iOS beta, the iOS 26 liquid glass shit. I kind of fuck with it. A few things that seem like they were changes that should have been done a long time ago. iOS, yikes. Dude, what is it in people that makes you hear someone else say, hey, there's this thing and I like it, and then your response to that is, no, you're wrong. Or like, ew, I can't believe that. Like, what is it that actually makes that happen to you? Because, like, I feel like the only reasonable thing to me that sounds like that to me is just saying, like, oh, I don't care. You know? You know what I'm saying? Okay, I, like, turbo have time to do this, so let's do it. Oh, actually, wait, I'm looking at the wrong thing. I have to do it from my house instead of... Wait, it's still really fat. I don't think that's right. I don't... Dude, it's telling me leaving my house. That doesn't seem right. I think there's more traffic than that. But I mean, either way, I still have time. All right, let's fucking do it. Not even loud, by the way. Not even loud. Also, can I just say, what is Blizzard doing releasing all this information when I am doing the race? You know what I mean? I feel like they're not really thinking about me and what would be nice for me. Because, like, it would have been crazy viewership to react to this shit live. And I just got totally missed. But now I had good viewership because of the race. But, like, I could have had both, in a way. Yeah, super disrespectful and totally targeted to fuck you over. Yeah.
Here are Ian Hazakostas and Paul Cubit.
Let's go. Holy, let's go.
Hello, Gamescom. Hello, hello. Thank you so much for coming out to join us today. It's going to be an amazing time together talking about the systems and features of Midnight. I'm Ian Hazakostas, Game Director on World of Warcraft.
And my name is Paul Cubit, Associate Game Director, also on World of Warcraft.
Let me give you...
Wait. I don't know who this is. I know that that Morgan Day has the title of Associate Game Director. I don't know. You met him? He just said who he is? Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. Maybe I have met him. I don't think I know of him or have met this guy. What does he like focus on? Like, I haven't seen him in interviews either.
And my name is Paul Cubit.
Like, Associate Game Director, I believe, is second to only Ian. And I know Morgan Day has that title, and Morgan Day is very public-facing. I just haven't heard of this person with that title, that's all.
Associate Game Director, also on World of Warcraft.
Let me give you a quick
He's
rundown
OG.
of what we're going to
Yeah,
talk
I mean, he's
about
probably a beast. I'm not saying anything bad by
in
that.
the
I
next
just don't know who
30
he is.
minutes. So first off, thank you for your patience over the course of the past week as we've tried to get out all the information about what we're doing in Midnight. Today, we're going to talk about the new Demon Hunter specialization
W.
that's coming, new talents,
W.
what you're going to earn on the way to level 90, how the prey system is going to work,
Eh.
but also some new aspects of world content specific to each of the zones of Midnight. We're going to talk about how the leveling experience is going to work and what's in store for new and returning players. Got some updates for the PvPers in the house. And a range of quality of life updates, including some UI improvements. One thing we're not going to talk about a lot today is our housing system. We have a lot of information out about housing. It's been amazing seeing thousands of you check out the demo hands-on over the last few days. We can't wait for everyone to get their hands on this later this year. And that's right, later this year. In our 11.2.7 patch, at the end of War Within, the housing system is going to roll out. Anyone who owns Midnight at that point can claim their home and start decorating it. But everyone who is playing WoW, even if you don't own Midnight yet, can start collecting your decor and getting ready for the expansion ahead.
I'm going to have the dumbest house you've ever seen.
Without further ado,
no one's
let me
house will be
hand it
dumber.
over to Paul to talk about the next few items.
All right, keep your eyes and ears peeled. We got a lot of new information coming out today. We're going to dive pretty deep into the systems and features, starting with this fella back behind me. That's right, the Devourer Demon Hunter. Now, you've seen Havoc. You've seen Vengeance.
I actually don't know anything about this spec. I know that it has some of the abilities that the raid boss had, and I know it's like supposed to be like a range spec, which I actually thought was not going to happen.
Now it's time to meet the new Demon Hunter spec that turns every fight into a highlight reel. The Devourer is our third Demon Hunter spec. It's a little bit different than our other two specializations. Previously, Demon Hunters only channeled Fel energy to power their abilities, whereas the Devourer uses Cosmic Void powers to power their Annihilation abilities. It's a ranged DPS spec, but not in a traditional sense. You're not going to be standing out at max range, casting spells the entire time.
So it's a Dev Evoker.
Depending on how you build your character, and we'll take a look at some talents a little bit later, but depending on how you build it, you may be standing at mid-range pretty consistently, or you may be darting in and out in sort of a hybrid build where you're spending some time in melee and then using Vengeful Retreat to jump back.
That's pretty cool. I mean, I feel like some classes have played like that before. Dev, I believe, doesn't have any kind of melee element. Weirdly enough, I think different specs of like Frost Mage in the past have actually operated like that. Isn't it? Am I remembering this wrong? Where Frost Mage had some weird like spell queuing thing, where like or travel time on their spells, where you would actually blink into melee range to like double Ice Lance or some shit with Flurry. So like that's the only WoW class. I think maybe Survival Hunter is kind of like that. Like Survival does most of its stuff in melee, but has the ability to do damage from range under the right circumstances. This is totally random. You're going to have no idea where this thought came from, but I need to mention it. They need to make Time Spiral work for priests. Like, this boss that we just randomly did, this boss that we just did, Dimensius, you happened to randomly have 4 Time Spirals in on the fight. And Priest was doing an infinitely harder boss than anyone else because they did not get Time Spiral. They don't get anything from it. Every other class getting infinite casting while moving as an LA Shaman, porting the knockback like 3 times on a Warlock. Everyone else is getting actual movement speed increasing abilities, and Priest literally get nothing. I don't know. Just something has to be done. Reverse Life Grip works. There's other ways to do it, but yeah, I mean, I just don't understand how this super fucking has nothing to do with this at all. But just a thought I had. Like our priest was doing for the first half of that fight is doing something almost twice as hard as everyone else.
Let's break down the toolkit a little bit. So first up, this is Void Metamorphosis. This is your iconic Demon Hunter transformation. But with a twist. This is not cooldown based, it's energy based. You have to use Reap, which is your giant kind of scythe attack, to gather up any of the void fragments that you can't reach, or you can just sort of run around and pick them up as your...
So it's like the picking up the souls element of Havoc and Vengeance, but instead it just turns you into meta.
You're used to doing with souls, and once you've gathered enough, you can enter into meta.
Now, if you could only run around and pick them up, that would feel like shit. But if you are able to press Reap and have them all pick up for you, similar to like Fellblade right now, how that interaction with Throw Glaive feel like
and once
that'd be
you're in
fun.
meta, you want to stay in meta as long as possible. Void
Oh, it's
energy
void
is a
form.
little bit different than Fel energy.
I'm a huge fan of anything. I mean, why has void form not gotten the same like hate that like Breath of Syndragosa has? I mean, I guess it used to as Fern of Madness. Is void form not extendable anymore? It's just like a certain duration. It did. That's why they removed it. That's what I'm saying. Like but me personally, I'm just such a fan of it being able to extend your cooldowns with good play and having like tension in your cooldowns to get the most out of it. But I know that for the exact reason that I like that, anytime they've made an ability like that, basically everyone else hates it and they remove them, which is really sad. But I hope it's like that is my bit.
Slippery, it's elusive, it wants to get away from you, and you need to devour it. You need to pull it in as much as you can. So
like basically my two favorite things with cooldowns at all are extending your cooldowns by pressing buttons in them, or also getting cooldown reduction based on energy spent, like your typical like anger management type abilities. I love stuff like that.
you want to stay in this meta as long as possible, and the longer you do, the more damage you'll do as well. I'll share how in just a slide or two. In this shot, you will see Void Ray. This is the Void's interpretation
I-beam.
of I-beam.
Yes,
it's
I-beam.
a 25-yard line attack with all sort of the
25 yards.
trademarks of I-beam, where you have the rotation, you can move around.
Bro, that's going to be absolutely crazy. If you have spell effects turned on for all of your party members and like you just run an entire like viewer raid of only that spec of Demon Hunter and you 360 those bitches, oh my god.
Just line up all your abilities and turn them into piles
Also,
of
you're
ash.
going to pull everything, yeah.
It's beautiful. It's purple. Important note, when you're in Devour spec, everything is going to be purple. Our art team did a killer job, as they always do, to take everything. You're not going to see any green at all. It's just going to be void, void, void. Really cool.
Yeah.
Speaking of really cool, this is Collapsing Star. This is your big, brutal anime finisher. The way this ability works is you have to be in meta to cast it. So once you get into meta, then you have you unlock the ability to cast Collapsing Star. The more times you cast Collapsing Star in a meta, the stronger and stronger it gets. So like I said, that you want to hold on to that metamorphosis as long as possible. It's got that big...
Wait, so he is kind of implying that it can be like extended, right? You want to stay in that as long as possible. I mean, I'm a fan of that. It's just, it's interesting that they're doing that when they've kind of systematically removed every other thing in the game where that's the case, except for like dev cooldowns, I guess, right now. But even then, they've simplified that a lot for that exact reason, right? Like, I mean, I love it. I'm a huge fan of that. I'm just saying W for me, but literally every time this is in the game, a lot of people don't like it. Anyone who like doesn't like to optimize hates it, basically.
Raid boss finale energy. Next up, let's talk about hero talents. The Demon Hunter is getting a new...
So they are removing Fellscarred. Okay, I guess, yeah, they only had to remove one from one of these two specs, and they chose to remove Fellscarred from Vengeance. That's cool. I think Havoc players maybe aren't going to be super happy, because I don't think they're very fond of either of these hero talents gameplay-wise, or at least that was historically true. I don't know if that's true now. And maybe they would have wanted to have the new one, but I'm guessing like thematically it fits more with Vengeance. When I played Eldrachi on PTR, it was actually really fun though, so I'm guessing that one is fine.
Spec, and with that, they get a new hero talent tree, and that is called the Annihilator tree. You can see it in the sort of the lower left-hand side there. This is shared between Devour and Vengeance, and sort of broadly speaking, this is all about dropping meteors on your enemies. If you're Devourer, there will be big, bold Void meteors. If you're in Vengeance, they will be Fel meteors.
How many targets do you think that big-ass attack in their meta is going to be capped at?
Meteors, but meteors
feeling 5 or 8? What do you think?
Devourer will also
Uncapped?
have access to the Scarred tree. No longer is it called the Fel Scarred tree. It's just simply Scarred. We are inclusive of all types of scarring here. As Demon Hunters, we know we are our scars. That's right. All right, let's move on. Next up, Void Elf Demon Hunter. This is a new race class combination that is coming to World of Warcraft. It's unlockable with a short quest line that's available during the 12th.
Skip this.
Or we is true of unlock this character. Now, for those of you who are Horde players in the audience, like myself, you may have noticed this introduces a little bit of an imbalance. The Void Elves are ready to jump into a particular new class, and this is particularly lore appropriate for what we're doing at this time. The World Soul Saga is not over yet. There will be new opportunities for other race.
Yeah, skipping ahead. Okay, new talents.
Next up, let's talk about talents. So as you play in Midnight, you're going to get new levels. No big surprise there. You'll level from 80 to 90.
Yeah, I was wondering. So I know people are upset about them having the new talents to spend it on. And I understand all of the issues that come with that. But I think they have to. Now, you could have changed your direction on this a long time ago, I suppose. But they care so much about being able to select something every time you level. It's actually the reason that these talent trees are like this. At endgame, do these function that much differently than like the mop talents? No. But they're massively better for leveling, right? Mop talents, you're like learning things as you go, but then like every 15 levels, you get a real talent. What was true about Classic WoW and these new Dragonflight trees is when you are leveling and you actually get to put a point on here every time you level up once is like, that is basically done for the leveling process. And I think that is why they've done that. Like, so after you saw them do hero talents, that was a convenient way to get around it for the War Within. Them giving you more talents, I think, was kind of the only thing they could do. Like, for example, the alternative, which some people have suggested, is like, don't add any more new talents. They just kind of are, though, like it's an MMO, like they're gonna do that. Yes, does it lead to the spiky healer damage stuff? Yes. Is it gonna require more rebalancing of trees? Yes. All of those things, yes. But it probably still needs to happen.
90, and you'll get 10 new talent points as well. The way those are going to break it down is you're going to get 3 points in your class tree, 3 in your hero tree, and then 4 in your spec tree.
Oh, that's actually not nearly as bad. I thought it was 10 in spec. Okay, so 4 in your class, which like right now, there's not a ton of classes where like 4 extra points is going to give them a ton of value in class tree. The hero talent tree is just them basically patching hero talents a little bit. Oh, 3 in class, sorry. Same thing. And then 4 in spec. If you were to just take the game right now as it stands, and you were to add 4 talents in any spec tree, you can actually do this yourself for any class you play. You are gaining wildly different shit based on the classes you play. For some classes, you're gaining unreal value. For other classes, you are gaining almost nothing, but it'll almost certainly put one thing to bed. It will almost certainly kill any spec that like really feels bad having to spec between AoE and single target. Because if you add 4 more spec points, you're just going to have the cleave stuff, most likely. Another concern I have with that, although I am certainly way less concerned after hearing it's only 4 in the spec tree, is button bloat. They just went away from button bloat a little bit in the past. They like pruned some abilities from classes, especially with the reworks they've been doing. But a decent amount of specs in the game, when you give them 4 new spec tree points, are going to be like adding active buttons you're pressing. And it depends on the class, but that might feel good or bad. Like there are definitely classes I play where adding a button would feel totally fine. Like current Frosty K is a good example of that. And there are classes where adding a button would feel very bad. Enhancement Shaman would be an example of that. Although I don't think the enhancement tree specifically would be adding a button, most likely, but at least a rotational button. Okay, either way, let's continue.
Learn those sort of alternatingly. The way these work individually is on the class tree, it's very simple. You just got 3 more points. You can use them however you want.
Okay.
If there's some ability in there that you wanted to get to, but you couldn't quite reach it, or you had to make a painful trade-off to get to that point, well, now you might be a little bit more likely to be able to get to that point, and you won't have to make that painful trade-off. In the hero talent tree, there's an additional lane. So you were keeping all the same hero talents, but we're adding 3 new abilities in that 4th lane there. So it's going to take these already iconic and impactful powers.
Okay, so just stuff that's there's no choice involved with the hero talent extra points. It's just every hero talent's going to be gaining some sauce. I really, really hope that none of the hero talent things include defensives. even for classes that are a little squishy. Because you don't want a scenario where someone is playing a hero talent because of its defensive capabilities as a DPS player that's really weak. Like, I don't like that. And then you have to balance them between them. And if you feel like certain classes are squishy, you can fix that in other ways other than hero talent. I think hero talent defensiveness is actually something that should be entirely avoided if they can.
And make them even more iconic and even more impactful. And lastly is on this spec.
Just go for flavor, bro. Like, you can add some good gameplay stuff. Hopefully, like, obviously always improve gameplay, but whatever you're adding should just make you feel more like the thing you're already spec'd into. If you're a Rider the Apocalypse, I want to feel more Rider, you know? Anything. If you're a Sun Fury mage, I better see some fucking crazy ass shit. You know what I'm saying? Just if you're a pack leader, there better be more animals coming out and lagging the game. Shit like that. I want to ride harder,
points
bro.
Here. I'll share how that goes in the next slide, but a couple clarifications first. What you see behind me is the example for the Devourer Demon Hunter. Everything I'm saying here is true for all 40 specs across the game, so the 334 applies to everybody. And the other clarification is you see 3 little dots over to the side of the tree.
Yeah,
there
what are these?
Keen-eyed among you. That's just work in progress UI that our team's been using to be able to test these things along the way.
Well, what is it?
That's
What is this though? Like, is this the new talents they're adding? That doesn't look like an accident. That looks like Keep watching.
Okay. See 3 little that our team's been using to be able to test these things along the way. What you'd expect this to look like is a little bit more like this, where you'd have, imagine, if you will, a big giant talent point that sits at the bottom of your spec tree with a couple little pips in the bottom of it, and you're able to put 4 points into that.
Okay.
Now, all 4 points should be really impactful, but particularly impactful will be the first one and the last one. So let's take a look at a couple examples of how this will play out on the...
Okay. So you're gaining 4 new spec points, but they're just all going into this thing. So you're basically not really gaining 4 spec tree points. You're just gaining whatever this is. I mean, I guess not so. He said the first and the last one are really important. So maybe what that means is 2 of them could go into shoring up your talent tree based on the scenario. I mean, I would say that second version is better. But haven't we just kind of learned so far from this that any actual choice in your talent tree just means like your class is weak? You know what I mean? I don't know. Let's read this. So, Essence abilities. Oh, this is Prez Evoker. Interesting that they're showing Prez Evoker on here instead of... Okay. Essence abilities have a chance to infuse your target with your next reversion with the power of this, which is Spring of Bloom, healing them and up to 5 other allies. For this, blooms may heal your primary target multiple times. Okay, so it's like an extra hot. And then reversion protects allies, reversing 4% of all damage taken and healing them instead. That's good. Okay, and then Dream Breath's instant healing is increased by 200%, and Dream Breath has a 100% chance to grant this. Okay, but like, so these aren't really required though, right? Because you could simply just not spec this. Like, what if you're not even playing a reversion build? You certainly wouldn't want Marithra's Blessing, right? Or whatever. So like, there is some choice involved.
Evoker. And also on our favorite new spec, the Devourer Demon Hunter.
I kind of fuck with this.
So the first point is going to be a little bit more transformational. This will have a
like
big
this.
effect on one of your abilities. In this case, for the Preservation Evoker, I know the text's a little small, but it takes reversion and gives it a chance to be upgraded to a new ability called Marithra's Blessing. The next 2 points are just going to be make numbers bigger. They're going to make whatever that first thing did, make it even better.
This is, again, a little off topic, but on the topic of Prez Evoker, I feel like Prez Evokers this season are closer to Nerebar Palace Prez Evoker than other healers are to Prez Evoker. And most of that is due to the fight design and the fact that you're basically always stacked on the hard bosses. But I feel like it hasn't been talked about enough how Prez Evoker is just like crazy insane again.
And then that last point is the exclamation point that really brings it all home. They should all fit together into a cohesive package. They share the icon, they share the name, they share the fantasy. But an important point to note is that you don't have to put all 4 points in this if you want to. It's not a separate tree. It is part of your spec tree. And so if you want to just go more broad in your spec tree too, there will be opportunities for you to do that. But I expect a lot of people are...
I like this. I think you know that they're going to have to add something to the tree, and I think this is actually really good. Clearly, they're going to vary between specs. But like some specs, like I said before, some specs gain a ton by putting 4 extra points into their spec tree right now, and some don't. And I think giving you some cool options here. This is nice. I think I'm a fan of
what's
this.
in their Apex talents because they are super duper cool. That's it for talents. Next, I'm going to talk about a feature we've been working on and talking about a bit this week. It's called Prey. So Prey is a new opt-in hunting system that lets you pursue powerful targets across Azeroth and beyond Azeroth, places like the Voidstorm, etc. It's built to slot right into how you already play. So whether you're a World Quest enjoyer, if you're out gathering, you just like hanging out, Prey should have a good fit for you. It's a little story balance, or a story background, I should say. This is a secretive initiative led by...
Okay, I'm going to skip this. Do we have timestamps? Prey and world content, and then 15 is the leveling experience, and then... So do I just go all the way to quality of life updates? It's delving in the open world? Yeah, that's sick. I'm just going to go to quality of life.
All right, I want to talk about some UI and general quality of life improvements.
Let's go, Ian.
So over the last
Actually,
few months,
he was on the
we've been
Echo
doing a lot
couch,
of
bro.
work in War Within.
Fuck, I respect Ian so much, man, but God, bro.
The baseline UI experience with things like the cooldown manager, combat assistant, and more. That's going to continue in Midnight and beyond. One area that
he told me when we went down to Irvine, Dratnos, and I to do that interview with them. He told me at lunch. Actually, wait, I don't know if this is. I don't care. It's probably not under NDA. This isn't the stuff they really care about, and also fucking NDA. You know what I mean? But not really. Like, don't sue me. But like, me and Dratnos were joking. Like, yo, dude, you should come on the podcast. And like, obviously thinking he was going to be like, ha ha ha, you know I can't. But he was like, yeah, fuck it. Now, I haven't ever reached out about that again because I'm terrified of him. But maybe now I could be like, well, you went on the Echo thing.
want to focus on is our nameplates. We understand that, when you're in the heat of combat, this is the best window into what's going on, the status of your enemies, and what you need to respond to. And our default nameplates currently don't give you all the information you might want. We really want to improve your ability to see and...
Okay. Size, style, nameplate information. You can see whether you want the health percentage, health variables, spell name, spell icon, spells, aggro display. I mean, so far the initial buffs are good. Like the initial options are good. Now, is it going to compete with how like OP Plater is, like being able to like recolor nameplates of mobs that cast certain spells and stuff like that? Is it as helpful? No. But I think there's some argument as to like, should that even be in the game? Like the difference between a player who's going into a dungeon and just sees health bars versus someone who can see exactly what all of them cast just by like coloring and stuff like that. Like, it's extremely good. So I think you could certainly argue that shouldn't be in the game. Not to mention, whenever they put the cooldown manager, which is a great example of this, of it being really bad initially, those new improvements they announced for it look extremely good. I do think, and I said this when it came out, that the cooldown manager, like 2 years after it comes out, I think is going to replace a lot of add-ons, because it, in a very lightweight package, is doing what most of those are trying to do. There's a few classes that have like weak auras that are too good. Have you guys seen like a good, is it Ice Fury? Is that the LA Shaman ability where they can press it and then they have like 4 frost shocks? I don't know if people play it anymore, but just as long as you know what it is. Okay, so like a weak aura for that will show if Ice Fury's up, and then after you press it, that weak aura will morph into some kind of icon showing you how many frost shocks you have left until it goes on cooldown. And then once you use all 4 of them, then it desaturates. And then, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think the cooldown manager is ever going to do that. And there's only a few abilities, honestly, in the game that are truly way better having some kind of weak aura like that. But I still think for most of what you're trying to do, the like gamer UI that like literally everyone has, do I still have this open? This. You are going to be able to create with the cooldown manager easily in like 2 years what Fired Up has here. Just his main cooldowns, his mana, his arcane charges, and then the buffs and stuff right above it. Like that should easily be done. Right now, the cooldown manager is bad, but I think that does not sound too hard to obtain. This screenshot right here of these nameplates is like way farther ahead of where the cooldown manager was when it came out. They also look kind of clean. As long as, okay, so a couple things. The player debuffs that show up need to be customizable. I also think something that's really helpful, and they've removed some of these from the game. Actually, maybe not. I'm thinking about, like, why are nameplates, when are nameplates really, really, really fucking good? Like, things that Plater does that are really helpful that you would want in Blizzard nameplates. So anytime you have, like, lashing flames or, like, Mark of the Crane, being able to recolor the nameplates based on the ones you've buffed is really helpful, but also they removed Mark of the Crane. And I believe Lashing Flames got made to be very easy. So I don't know if you would actually really care about that anymore. Also, isn't another really broken one, like, have you guys seen the Plater thing that just shows your cooldown of your kick right next to the nameplate, or it changes the color of the cast bar based on if your kick will be up at some point during the cast? Like, that's really good, but I don't know if, is that too good? You know, where's the line of, like, this is really helpful and I've gotten used to this, versus we should be able to just track this without all of it being tracked for us. But, like, I think Blizzard needs to come pretty close to that second thing, because the reality is people have gotten used to it. And if they log into the game one day and that stuff is gone, which I guess I should also point out that when this comes out, Plater will still be available. Like, that one cooldown rotation assist add-on that they built their one-button rotation basically off of, that still exists. We don't know the date where they're going to fucking destroy all this shit. But getting as close to you can to those add-ons before removing it is certainly the idea. But as a first thing, this looks really good as long as all of this is really customizable. Like, enemy player buffs and debuffs, personal debuffs. Okay. That should not just be a check bar. That should not be a checkbox. In my opinion, you should be able to individually customize which debuffs from your character you want to see on there. I know it's more work, but that's one of the biggest issues with the cooldown, the personal resource display, is like, some of the things that are on there you really want to see, and some of them are just complete bullshit. They're just there for no reason, right? No one's going to want to have that instead of an add-on, for example. So hopefully they learn from implementing it. I will say, though, doesn't this look kind of clean initially? The, like, mob buffs going down here, the shared CC that's on this, the player debuffs, like, it actually looks pretty fucking clean. It's pretty impressive. I like the way this looks, but the real weak aura heads will tell you about, like, all the functionality that's available with shit like this, and that's where they'll need to
customize buff and debuff display on nameplates. We also want to be able to call out important lethal casts. That's something that we're going to build in on the encounter design side. If there's a cast that probably is going to wipe you if it gets off, that should be a larger highlighted cast bar, so you know it's a high priority interrupt. You shouldn't need an add-on or an external guide to tell you that. The game should be doing it itself. And we're really excited to add this functionality to our nameplates.
Except, aren't high key people going to be kind of mad, though? Because, I mean, maybe this is just a high key problem, but, like, there are kicks that are very important to kick at every key level. If you're doing a +10 and a mob is casting World Explosion Giga Death Spiral or something, you're like, holy fuck, that cannot go off, right? But at a key level of a 20, letting off like a Shadow Bolt is going to one-shot the person that it hits. So maybe it needs to be variable with key level, or maybe it's just like at a higher level of key, you just kind of know that nothing can go off. Maybe just one of those issues of having infinitely scaling content.
Next up, damage meters. We are adding damage meters to the base UI experience.
W. All right, let's check this out. So style, numbers, frame, so you can get the frame width, height, padding, transparency, visibility, lock, scrolling, show spec icon, and class color. Okay, so clearly this needs a lot more. Details is actually like one of the better add-ons in this game as far as it being like just really well made. Obviously, it needs to have all of that functionality. I don't think there's any argument with details where it's like, is this too good that it has it? It's like, no, actually, ease of information, if you're going down the damage meter route, which they are, is really, really helpful. Being able to see overall versus current fight is really helpful. I don't think we need to spend a lot of time on this other than it's a dub that they're putting this in. You could make an argument as to whether MMOs should have damage meters. Someone like me would always tell you the answer to that is yes, and that's how I feel. But I can absolutely see the philosophy behind not putting one in a new game you're coming out with. But the thing is WoW isn't a new game. It's been out for a long time, and people have been using damage meters since the very beginning. So in this game, clearly the decision is yes, you need them. So them putting one in the game totally makes sense. Yeah, big fan. Big fan of this. Hope it is as good as it can be, but you just won't know until you play it.
Again, this is probably the single most popular...
Well, you got to be able to do custom names, though. Bro, the 20-person game damage meters went crazy.
Used by players across all of World of Warcraft. And you shouldn't need to feel like if you want to understand whether your talent build that you just tried out is more effective than the one you were using yesterday, you shouldn't need an external tool for that.
19? Wasn't it 20? Bro, I'm pretty sure that's game up and down the board, isn't it? It was like leading up to the kill. Wait, was THD TH game? Oh, what a little bitch. Did he really? Let's check the opener. Actually, he probably never even shows up this whole fight. Sorry, that was mean. No, it says game. Is that Splat? He changed it for the last few pulls. That's why we killed it, bro.
The game should give you that information. And so we have fully featured damage meters. These are also going to be sort of server-side authoritative. So compared to add-ons where maybe someone is out of range or in a different phase and you...
Oh, good point. We actually had details meters for all of Nexus King were wrong because when you split up, you were so far apart that you did not have the information from the other side, including logs. You had to manually log each side. That is actually, it's pretty rare that a bosses actually do that, where you actually need both sides of logs, but it is obviously really good.
Track of the information about what they're doing. Here, we're going to keep track of it on our end, and so they should always be perfectly accurate. Next up, this is a fun one. How many of you use DBM or bigwigs?
I do, and every time I see someone with the boss timers that come down a line like this, I get irreversibly mad. I don't even think they're bad or anything. I just hate it.
Right? Basically, since
DBM timers should be bars. It's just the way it is, guys.
The beginning of raiding, 20 years ago plus, people have relied on add-ons to let them know when a major boss ability is coming up.
Yeah.
That's just how WoW raiding has been for nearly everyone who raids.
Yeah, I've heard some people be like, this game shouldn't have timers, and it's like, okay, whatever, right? Like, let's say that it doesn't have timers, you just have to make different content. Like, if you don't have timers, you just have to change the way bosses are made, and I think WoW is the best raiding content in any game. So I think they're obviously doing something right, but I actually like timers. I think timers are good.
And yet, again, you've had to turn to external tools to do that, and we feel that's not the experience that our players deserve. So we are building in a lot of that functionality into our encounters in Midnight. So you can see a timeline of major critical abilities that are coming up, and alerts if you're targeted by something, things along.
Without timers, you would have no job. I think that's I'm pretty sure without timers, my job becomes like insanely more relevant, actually.
To give you the information you need to overcome the challenges that are facing you.
I'd fucking, my job would become twice as hard.
That are coming in Midnight. There are going to be many more at launch and to follow. This is a project that has a long future ahead of it.
I will say having bigwigs timers in game is definitely nice. There are times going into every Mythic boss where we don't have timers, and then we have to like do a few pulls where we don't know what's happening. Famously, like on Gallywix, we hadn't seen the last bit of the last boss. So at 13% HP, I was like, we don't know what happens here. Just play the game. But if Blizzard is assigning the timers, then you would assume that it's like, okay, this is actually what's going to happen here. So that's actually maybe the thing I'm looking forward to the most. Now, if they do this really well, Nebula, our bigwigs guy, would be potentially out of a job, which I would hate because he is actually really, really good at what he does. But I'm sure he'd find some other way to be relevant. He's very smart. But I wonder if the opposite would happen. Like right now when timers are wrong, I know I can go to Nebula and be like, yo, my guy, change this shit right now. But what if that's Blizzard? Like, what if we get to a boss and their own fucking timers are wrong? Or is it? Can I just complain to Blizzard to fix that shit? Is this just another thing that we're like, we're beta testing?
DBM or bigwigs, right? Basically, since the beginning of raiding, 20 years ago plus, people have relied on add-ons to let them know when a major boss ability is coming up. That's just how WoW raiding has been for nearly everyone who raids.
Yeah.
And yet, again, you've had to turn to external tools to do that, and we feel that's not the experience that our players deserve. So we are building in a lot of that functionality into our encounters in Midnight. So you can see a timeline of major critical abilities that are coming up, and alerts if you're targeted by something, things along those lines, to give you the information you need to overcome the challenges that are facing you. Those are just a few of the user interface improvements that are coming in Midnight. There are going to be many more at launch and to follow. This is a project that has a long future ahead of it. We really want to make sure that...
So what do they... Okay, after these three, what do they still need to, reasonably be able to remove, the only thing they really care about removing is, in-fight weak auras. Now, I don't mean how long do these things have to get better until they can sufficiently replace them. I'm purely meaning the function. What are we missing? Oh, Omni CD. I feel like Omni CD will be built into the... is that something that's just going to be a build out of the cooldown manager? I think. But true. Yeah, so Omni CD for sure. Raid frames. Oh, just raid frame overhaul. Actually, that's one thing there are people in our guild who use Blizzard raid frames. Now, having the ability to whitelist and blacklist better, I think would be something initially to go on, but I think that's something that's closer than you think. Not healers. Yeah, I think for healers maybe they are good. But yeah, it can certainly be improved. Okay. Now people are going to say weak auras in general. So what are the weak auras you care about? I think largely weak auras that are nice are the stuff for your UI. This stuff right here. Fired up's entire thing that I'm mousing over right here. This thing is... All these weak auras is for most people, this is what weak auras are good. Cooldown Manager is attempting to be this. It currently isn't, but the changes they've announced for it, and I'm just going to give it a year of extra time. I think it's going to be pretty close. I'm not a developer, but this doesn't seem that hard to emulate from what it is currently on the PTR. Then it's what else do weak auras do? So weak auras, right here. Here's something a weak aura is doing. So here's what this weak aura is doing. This red thing right here, minus 18%, is showing that this guy is 18% below the average living mass health that's currently alive. This one is 26% HP above the average of the highest living mass alive, or the median, I guess. So it is showing the player, hey, if you're going to swap to any living mass, swap to this one because it's really high. Now, this is an example of something I think that just shouldn't be in the game. This is just going to get nuked and not something Blizzard needs to add into their UI. Same thing with actually, can we give Blizzard some credit here in P2? I think when you are a viewer watching this boss and you see us do this, ready? Okay, we go over here. Gravity is going off and about to pause it. 3, 2, 1, now. Okay? This is 3 big blue circle debuffs and 17 little purple debuffs. The little purple debuffs, if they stack on each other, you'll most likely die to raid damage. And you have to get hit by this blue one or else you will die. We did not use a weak aura for this. I think in almost every single boss we've done with a mechanic even kind of like this, it is purely done with assignment weak auras and graphics and everything. Blizzard made this so these blue circles always go on ranged, one melee, and one healer. What that allowed us to do is all of the ranged DPS have preset spread positions here. All of the healers have preset spread positions here. And all of the melee have preset spread positions here. So you just always go to the same spot. And you, if anything, there's a few range spread out, so there's not too much stacking here. And they just know if they ever get the blue circle, they just have to go to the range pile. In my opinion, that is a brilliant way to design this to where you actually don't need a weak aura for something that looks like you would just want assignments. We even went into this boss with weak auras for this and ended up stopping using them because what they did in-game was better. That's a huge W. But what I'm saying is, if you were talking about things to remove from weak auras, it would be every time you get to a boss, here's what you should remove. Let's show fucking Fractalus real quick, right? Every single movement on Fractalus, a weak aura is telling you where to go. That is something that doesn't need to be emulated in Blizzard's UI. That should just not be the case, and they should design bosses that don't do that shit, right? So the real question I'm asking is, what is left? In my opinion, it's like buff and debuff tracking. So like looking at Fired Up's UI right here, having a couple, I'll give a couple examples. So these are offensive buffs that Fired Up cares about tracking, and defensive with mirror images. Now, I think that is just cooldown manager build out, right? Really good cooldown manager stuff here. And then you have debuffs that really matter. So let me see if I can find an example of this. I don't think there's going to be one on this fight, but there will be on Nexus King. Is there one from us? World First Nexus King. Okay. All right, so when Fired Up gets this blaze, so he has an icon on his screen. This is actually, isn't this just a Blizzard private aura icon? I'm almost positive it is. It's just like the Blizzard private aura thing you can put anywhere on your screen. So maybe they already have a solution for this by just making all difficult debuffs like put into a private, but like let's say it isn't, and he gets the dot instead. Where is the dot? So right here, he gets the dot right here. Now he gets the dot, and he doesn't actually have a weak aura for it. He just looks at his debuffs. Okay, but like he has his debuffs filtered most likely. So like only the ones that really matter show up. So I just think some kind of debuff filtering, the oath stack is not necessary. But like some kind of debuff filtering where you just see the ones that matter, I think are really helpful. But I think that's just like a whitelist and blacklist thing. What is it? The dot is the circle around him. Yeah, that's a weak aura though. This is an example of something I think is not needed, correct? The big dot going off in 3 seconds. Like this is not needed in the game. However, if they were to build in some kind of like UI for that, like they kind of did on Halandris, right? Like Halandris, one of the best bosses ever. One big reason is when you were dropping off your bomb, it was entirely visual on when your bomb was going to explode, whether it was on you or on the ground. Right? And in a way, isn't that extremely similar to what you were just watching? Like Fired Up getting that dot or whatever and then dropping, that circle counting down is basically just doing the Halandris thing just with a weak aura. So what else do we actually need? What are things that help you in progression that Blizzard would need to build into their game? Okay, here's one. The note system. You guys have maybe implemented our version of this or Method Raid Tools version of this, but the ability to make timeline reminders like, hey, I'm pressing mass barrier he's actually doing it right now, at 1:15 into the fight right here. So it counts down and lets him know to use mass barrier. Now, I don't know if this is one of those things that Blizzard actually said they are going to kill. I don't really know how I feel about this, if this is that bad for the game. Like, I feel like I feel like if you're doing like an impossibly hard 10-minute boss and you have some assignment 9 minutes and 20 seconds into it, I think it's probably okay that you get like a little reminder for that. But then it can just go super far. I think like text-to-speech is like heavily carrying people now. I think this is certainly borderline should get nuked for sure. But it's just like a personal reminder. And then you guys are saying like MRT notes for assignments. Well, most of those are assignments for actual weak auras, which would no longer exist. However, there are some that are nice. Is there going to be no kick weak auras anymore? Where like you don't have like a weak aura that... I mean, I can probably show you kick weak aura. Here we go. So like right here, you can see it on this guy. So do you see how it says Sang 2 right there? That shows everyone else that it's Sang's kick. When it's Sang's kick, it will be a different color. So basically, if you see green... Actually, I can probably show it to you. So Yips is the first kick. Does Fired Up ever get assigned? THD, Impec. Does Fired Up ever... Yeah, it does. So Fired Up is now assigned to the 5th kick. So it's green and it plays a sound when it casts on the kick. Super sick, right? Is that needed? Nah. You could just like literally memorize it. Like you see phases like this so often, you could easily just memorize it. The kick notes are a big example of something that has been done for extremely minor levels of optimization. Just in general, that could easily be nuked. There are some bosses where it's a little bit more challenging. Like this is fucking piss. There's 10 people on one side and they're cast really slow. There's some bosses like maybe Ansurek where there's like the two, right? Like where is it? Ansurek World First P2. Let's rewind it. Hit that rewind. Come on, YouTube. Brood Twister, no weak auras. Okay. Brood Twister without weak auras would have been insane. But another way to look at that is without weak auras, Brood Twister would have not looked like that. Or there'd be like, I don't know, we could have done Brood Twister without weak auras. It just would have been way harder. It just would have been way more wipes. Like what you do is you would have like the Brood Twister eggs and you'd have a raid spread week, like not a weak aura, like a raid spread assignment. And basically everyone is evenly spread out between the 4 things that need to happen. There's 4 raid markers on the things that have to be Venn diagrammed. And then simply you just go to the one closest to you. If let's say Nick, here, let me do a little raid plan. Just as an example, like, okay, would it have been insanely hard 100p? But like, it's not completely impossible, right? So if the 4 eggs you have to remove are like here, like 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you have raid markers down on them, and you have a raid spread, and I'm not going to do a full one just to save time. But like, let's say you have, like 2 mages and a priest and a hunter around this one. And then there's 16 people. So let's say there's 4 people surrounding every single soak here. There's like 4 melee up here closer to the boss. There's some healers and stuff in the middle. You get it. There's 4 people around each, but just for the sake of making this easy to understand, I'll just show this back here. So you guys know there's a priority system. If all 4 of you get picked, you know that the hunter and priest are the highest priority, so they Venn diagram this. You know instantly that 2 people at least have to go to orange, so if you ever get 1, let's say, it doesn't matter who it is, let's say it's on the mage, this person says orange needs a backup. That means that one of these other 4 are going to have more than 2 people at them, and they know that orange is the one that needs help. If there's 2 that get it here, those 2 people, let's say it's the priest and the mage, Venn diagram here. If there's 3, it's everyone but the hunter. The priest and the mages have talked between themselves of if it's ever picked on us 2 and there's a backup, it's going to be this mage. I'm just going to mark him as a fire, just for example. I'm going to go back up. I'm also a speedy class. We don't want the priest to do that. So now this mage is going to be listening for someone to say, okay, triangle only has 1. Okay, back up triangle. Or maybe that's my call, right? And now the hunter's not even playing, so it doesn't matter. And then in this scenario, I've showed you 1, 2, and 3 in this scenario where you get 4. The priest and the hunter, the least mobile, know that they are the ones that stay, and then the 2 mages with blinks are now backing up. And they'll just have to see the 2 based on seeing it. Now, is this harder? Yes. Is it way harder? Yes. Is it killable? Also yes. You'd actually get used to this, and the way you'd make this consistent is you'd have the exact same people if you were to number these in a row coming from the where the boss powers up, or just away from the middle opposite. You'd have 1, you'd have 2, and then I'm not even going to mark them, but 3 and 4. And then every single egg pop, you would always know that these 4 people are doing the one farthest away from like the edge of the room here in each quadrant. So this is how you do Brood Twister with no weak auras. At least just top of my head, I'm pretty sure this is the most consistent way to do it. And I think you'd kill the boss plus however many pulls, double, no, like plus 20, 30 attempts, maybe more. But like you'd be able to do maybe one of the hardest weak aura bosses ever without weak auras. It would just be really, and then the lower down the guild ladder you go, this becomes something that's kind of feasible for the people who are the best at this and do it for a living, and becomes completely unreasonable for a 5th boss for people who don't play this game for a living. But as far as like, it's just certainly fun to do this and is possible. Sorry, kind of a big a big difference. How about Fractal Assist here without weak auras? We did that on PTR. So on PTR, we were building our like strat for live from PTR. So on PTR, we natty called it, but had an order. So what I did on PTR is when walls came out, I said 1 star, 1 orange, 1 diamond, 1 triangle. 1 orange, 1 triangle, 1 moon, 1 square. And people just got their debuffs, did not get an assignment, and we just put 1 on each. And then I said for breaks, put 1 here, 2 here, 3 here. And we did natty call Fractalus and killed the boss on testing. It's more just, that's more like pretty much the only difficulty for that is on the raid leader. Because you have more than enough time to actually figure that out. You actually have the debuffs for like a really long time before they go off. That being said, they would still need to change bosses for sure without weak auras, but not as bad as you think. Okay. Huge tangent. My B. Echo of Neltharion without weak auras. Okay, interesting point. So, how would you do this without weak auras? P1, you just die. Unfortunately, it was just too fast, I think. Yeah, I think in P1, the solution is you just can't do it. You just wipe. That kind of sucks. I mean, you'd YOLO it and be able to kind of like, I mean, what you do maybe is very similar to Brood Twister. It just involves like kind of like pre-spreading. So go back to Dragonflight, go to Echo of Neltharion. And then the sides of the room here, let's just, for the sake of argument, just cut off one slice of the room here. Let's just say this is one thing you're playing in right here. So if the boss is here and you basically just spread around like this, and then you just go to the corner you're closest to and just vibe it out. And by being spread, because like how you played the fight with weak auras was everyone just stacked near the boss, so you were as close as possible to all potential spots. But that's not really possible without weak auras. So you would have to like pre-spread around and just hope that not these 5 people got it, and if you did, just fucking figure, like, just wipe probably. But maybe some pulls that wouldn't happen. Last phase was actually done without weak auras. We had like a map here. I'll show the map. And they killed these map weak auras. These don't work anymore, but here we go. So this phase starts, and then this map comes out of where they're supposed to be. But like low-key, we wiped to this map a lot because... Wait, why is Atlas not... Oh, there it is. Because these things were not... Oh my God, this was so OP, dude. No wonder they knew. This is so broken. But like, it even showed where you were on the map too. But we actually wiped this a fair bit of polls because if the boss is ever in like literally 1 inch of a different position here, it wouldn't spawn the exact right portals. And then the map would just be wrong. But I think the map definitely did help us. So like he knows to go, like, look, we're fired up, knows where to soak, right? This can be like, okay, but just so you know how this works, only one person can be in each one of these things and there's 20 of them. So fired up sees that his safe spot is over here. He blinks. He sees his character position. Dude, this is so broken. This is so good. Holy fuck, that is so good. Yeah, so you get it. They needed to nerf this. How would you do this without it? So pings didn't exist at the time. They actually existed in the 0.5 patch of this this major patch here. But before that happened, after that happened, Dratnos' guild started doing this in farm by just pinging. Everyone just ping where they're going to go, and if there was ever 2 pings on one spot, one person just knew they had to move, which is not as good, but doable. Also, I believe Echo for a while was just like remembering where to go. Like if the boss is in the exact same spot every time, you just kind of go to the same spot every time. The map just makes it like way more consistent. For everybody below the top 3 guilds in the world, that shit would be impossible. True. Yeah, that's another maybe bigger issue that Blizzard has with making fights more YOLOable and removing all of the crutches with weak auras and shit like that, is because that's what weak auras are. They are a crutch. Just like good raid leading can be a crutch. Whatever it can, there are just things that are available that can make it easier for the person in the raid to do their job. Good raid leading, really good weak auras, assignment stuff. The problem is those help the very best players less than they help average players. I mean, it's probably really simple to understand that, but like the less good you are, the more those tools carry you because the more you need them, because the more comfortable you are with living and doing as much damage as possible, the more cognitive load you can spend on everything else, right? Now, if you are already struggling to live a boss that's killing you every global and doing as much damage as required at the same time, you're obviously going to be less prepared to deal with everything else that's happening. So I think an issue Blizzard might have with third-party add-on removal is it is going to increase the delta of the highest skill in the game and the average and the low, which is something they frequently try to address with class design in general. Like for example, losing weak auras is going to hurt us a lot less than a world 200 guild, and then below that as well. All right. Anyways, big tangent there. We went over one dev interview. We'll probably do more in the future. But I think I'm probably going to head home before traffic gets bad. I have to like pack up my computer and shit. So this will be my last stream from the... Why are you hitting overworking? I streamed for 3.5 hours today. Yo, I have a PoE thing soon. PoE 2 sponsors soon as well. So I will see you guys tomorrow. And what else is there? I'll probably go over the rest of the interviews like over the weekend or something, but yeah, I gotta pack all this shit up. Last stream from the TL facility here for me, so shout out being here one more time. Feels good to win. It feels especially good to win knowing that you just didn't play your best in the raid. Like the last 2 raids we won, we were like, holy fuck, we were owning the whole time. This raid, we kind of were like, just simply not good. But a lot of it is fixable, and we know what there is to fix. I've already spoken about it. And usually you have to lose to really identify stuff like that, and being able to identify it with a win is definitely nice. Dryny 19. That's definitely a major one, for sure. We have the last 2 raids where we got majorly sick, we lost. You never know if that's exactly why you ended up losing, but I mean, you play infinitely worse when you're sick. So being able to get sick and still win feels very good because I didn't know that actually could have happened before this tier. It probably could have, but it depends on how bad it is. Actually ended up being in 2 different venues might have been a positive because less people could get infected. Like what would have happened if our tanks and like 4 other people were also sick? That would have been potentially a lot worse. Oh, there he is. Look who it is, everybody. Well. Can you rate us somebody's stream without viewers? Yeah, fuck it. Let's find a retail WoW streamer. Actually, let's raid this Shindig guy. This guy's an up-and-coming WoW creator. He was on my stream for the tier list thing for Rogue. All right. GG's, everybody.